I just finished with the Tsugumi ending, which is the first ending on the list of endings. Um, just to kind of start this out, I was reading the TV tropes page for 999, and and in 999 there's a somewhat famous scene in which a character is describing drowning. That's what I'll say about it. And in the TV tropes page for 999, they say that in this character describing drowning, this character says, "You go to heaven." That might be a reference to this game where characters drown and then it's implying they're going to heaven. Now, given that might be a slight spoiler for this game because it's characters plural, the only person we've seen actually go to heaven or even drown, unless in the Sora Tsugumi bad ending, Tsugumi might do so off screen. Is Takeshi. Takeshi's the only one who drowns, so I guess that might be in some kid bad ending the kid drowns or something. But whatever. A lot of stuff in 999 that seems to come out of this be variated in this game. Like that entire conversation that I was referencing earlier might sort of like alludes to this game quite a bit, actually. Anyway, I tried to look up a trope. Well, the reason why I was on TV tropes was I was trying to look up. I didn't obviously look at the page for this game because that would be massive spoilers, or any game in the series that is. Besides Ever17 because I already played that. But I was trying to look up a name for like a trope that would describe the Tsugumi ending, where everything seems to be going right, and then the last minute, something goes wrong, and it's a little bit like just there is a broad term called cruel twist ending for just it's very broad and it refers to just where just like unexpected bad things happen at the end, but it's so broad it's kind of lame. There's another one called not quite saved enough, but not quite saved enough would be somewhat more like the submersible actually makes it to the surface and then something happens and they die. It's like after that they go, yeah, we made it, and then they get decompression sickness and die or something. This would be like not quite saved enough. Something went wrong a little bit too early to quite fall into that category. And also, it's the protagonist who dies and not the person he's trying to save. So it's kind of a little bit reversed there. Um, there's also Diablo-less Ex Machina, which is kind of like unexpectedly kind of an like some sort of negative of Machina. However, it doesn't quite fit either because Diabolus Ex Machina is like a Machina but for the bad guys. So something miraculous happens or some big powerful thing shows up unexpectedly and bails out the villain or gives the villain power all of a sudden. And it kind of sort of requires a villain. In this case, we didn't really have a villain besides the universe, unless someone sabotaged the submersible. So the only one that I don't know, I couldn't find one that really fits. But besides, of course, Cruel Twist, because Cruel Twist is so broad, it could probably fit anything. It kind of raises the question: why would you write that? Because there didn't seem to be a whole lot of narrative need to just decide, okay, we're gonna make the submersible run out of batteries. This is gonna happen. Besides a couple things. One is it seemed like not very much had gone wrong in that ending so far, compared to say the Sora ending. So they had to have an extra thing to get through their things to gone wrong quota. And they might have been trying to put Takeshi and Tsugumi into some sort of character arc where ordinarily Tsugumi would have jumped out, like before Tsugumi goes through this arc, she would just, without questioning it, just jump out of the submersible and leave Takeshi in there to live because she would be, you want to live, I want to die, then I'll die so you can live. They decided we're going to make it so we reverse it just to make it look like she went through some arc. And her personality changed. But I like that about Tsugumi. It seems it does it. I gave a little said a couple little things there, but it does seem kind of unnecessary. It's kind of like just because I am the author and I can write whatever I want. Wah ha 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 ha. Lol. I can write this just cause at YOLO. Anyway, um, you could have a headcanon if you want to. I think they both live. Anyway, I'm saying anyway way too much. So going, I guess I have to go into Tsugumi a little bit. So I would be willing to say that Tsugumi would be my favorite character I've encountered thus far, period, in any sort of like game period. But that includes Japanese originating visual novels. That being, because she's very entertaining, right? That being said, her ending route, the stuff that you only get with Tsugumi when you go through her ending, doesn't really have any display of Tsugumi's unique or sometimes cliche, but unique from other characters in the game, at least personality. She doesn't do any of the things she does in the other endings, where she takes big risks or tricks the character or manipulates them or like punches Takeshi or anything like that. She just kind of loses her spunky, sassy, whatever words you want to think of, because I'm not very familiar with, even though I'm not very familiar with words used to describe someone's personality. And she just turns into this generic, I fell in love with the protagonist character. It just turns into Miss Sweetheart. Just all of a sudden. And so you don't really get any of Tsugumi in Tsugumi's ending, really. Her personality just gets lost. So, like, I don't know if it necessarily make Tsugumi bad, because it doesn't erase everything they wrote about Tsugumi leading up to it, but it was somewhat disappointing that they just kind of turned her into just like, I don't know, woman anime candy at the end. Maybe somewhat literally. So, going into this list here, um, there is one more scene for Takeshi before we get into the list of kid scenes right here. And this suggests that there's a fourth route you can get as Takeshi, besides the Sora ending, the Tsugumi ending, or the Sora Tsugumi shared bad ending. There's a fourth way you can go. Now, I didn't see any choices when I played through Takeshi's route 3 times that seemed like a way to get a fourth route, except maybe hitting the kid. That's interesting. I guess if at the very end I don't solve the mystery of this fourth route, I could try hitting the kid and see if I get it. But other than that, I didn't see anything that can get me into a fourth route. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean there wasn't, because as the kid, I didn't see anything that would be something else besides getting a U route. The kid obviously has some other routes besides U, I just didn't find them. So just because I didn't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. But how you could explain how I didn't see it, but it's there, is it might be unlockable. So Ever17 had the Izumi Kyurei and the Izumi endings, which you didn't see the choices to get into those didn't exist at first. You had to complete the endings for all the other girls before you could go into them. There could be something like that here. And the character who would be the unlockable would most likely be Coco, because she's in the opening cutscene. They show like the sprite libraries, at least part of them, for each character, and they have a little phrase from the dialogue or whatever. They go through Sora, it's Tsugumi first, then Sora, then you, then Sara. Then there's some like montage stuff, and then finally it goes to Coco as like later on in the cutscene. So Coco, there's likely a Coco ending. It's just that you have to unlock it. It comes later. And because Coco exists in Takeshi's route, then it would be starting as Takeshi would think would be how you would get that Coco ending. So, a theory for what this could be is some sort of passage into a Coco ending that you can get as Takeshi. But the choices to make to get that ending don't exist until you've done the other four girls. Just like you had to do other four girls in Ever17. You had to do Saki, you had to do Haruka, you had to do Yuka, and you had to do Kurumi. So that's what this could be. And you're like, well, there's only one scene. Does that mean that Coco ending is only one scene long? Well, maybe it jumps down to here. I mean, there's a lot of extra like scene lists down here, way more than you would think there would be in at a supposed Sara ending. So it might be that you jump to like Kid and Takeshi Coco, because there's got to be some sort of Coco payoff in the kid stuff as well, Coco route or something, and so the scene lists are kind of out of order. You get this scene, and then it jumps down to scenes listed down at the bottom. Now, there is one thing that would suggest I'm wrong. And the reason is this ending is listed, there's a missing ending listed here that's not down here. That, it's really long. That could be, it's just a normal Takeshi ending because it's nestled in between these various normal Takeshi endings. You would think it was like a kid Takeshi combo of some sort. It would be lower down on the list. So that's something that might show that what I'm thinking is not correct. Yeah. Should I go hit the kid? Well, I'll look at these first. So, just to kind of review, with you, I am missing one here, which seems to be, these are all from the kids route. All of these. So this seems like I've missed a UCG as the kid somewhere. So that's interesting. And then this is the U ending. So this would be CGs of you from some other character's ending, probably Sara. And then these are CGs of you as Takeshi, which may suggest again that Act 4th route will get you to more CGs of you at some point. There's more evidence as a 4th Takeshi route. There's more CGs of you to get as Takeshi. And just like a dud ending that you get if you hit the kid and everyone hates you wouldn't really pay that off unless these are all like CGs of you being mad at you. When it plays the kid though, I'm going to try to grab that one, whatever it is. It comes in between here. Tsugumi, we've got all of them that you get as Takeshi. And you don't get any Tsugumi ones as the kid, I believe. This one's in the is in the prologue. So yeah. By the way, if you click on these, you can go to like different versions, right? So this one, 3 versions. This one, you get the one where she looks at you as well. But there's 2 more, which suggests that you can get CGs of Tsugumi as the kid, or in that 4th Takeshi route, whatever it is. CGs of Sora. This is from the prologue. These are all from Takeshi. And these goes to the ones in Sora's ending. So this one to that one are Sora's ending. This one, and so is this one. This one to that. This one's not necessarily Sora's ending, but you probably need to get it in order to get Sora's ending. But this one, that one sometimes, and this one happened even if you keep saying Haruka, Tsugumi. This one happens in the kid, and there's multiple versions of it. And then this one, it might be in that also as the kid, or again maybe in that 4th Takeshi route. These are the ones of Sara, and I seem to have picked up close to none of them, which is interesting. I'm going to try to get more today. Ones of Coco. This is from the intro. This one is from both the kid and Takeshi. This is from Takeshi. This is from, I believe, the kid. So it kind of mixes up there. That's Takeshi, the kid. So hers really mix up. So that's interesting. And we don't have near all of them as well. These are miscellaneous. They would be like um, the pro tags, basically. This one should be in a Coco or a Tsugumi because there's Tsugumi and there's Coco, but for some reason it's in the Misk. Just have more of those. And then these are like I presume I got them from unlocking, getting the Sora ending and the U ending and Tsugumi ending, are just these like posters and promotional art. Okay, so let's try to conquer the kid here and see if I can get a Sara ending. There's probably a U bad ending, but I don't want to get that because getting as many good endings without getting bad endings as possible, I consider a level of achievement. Even though if I don't get all the once I get all the good endings, if I haven't gotten to bad ending, I'll try to go back and get it later. Um, we'll save over everything. I'm gonna do listen to the
う
joke because
ん、気になるかも。
I want to emphasize Coco as much as possible. Because in the kids route, Sora isn't like something you can pursue. Not even though I'm playing as Takeshi now. I also want to hear about ghosts as much as possible because we're playing as the kid. Even if it's the wrong pro tag. I haven't done the kid in a while, so it might be kind of rusty. I'll probably just do normal skips anyway, just to save gameplay time. Like, I probably won't reread everything because, ooh, there's too much footage. The disadvantage of doing a let's play, because if I was doing this myself, I would just read everything again. Um, give Takeshi
タヌキ
knowledge of the
が
mascot.
俺にボディーブローを。 ご
Probably
め
won't
ん。
matter. That won't matter at all. Kid jumps into the pool for some reason. Gets fished out in the beginning of his ending and got to the infirmary. Boom. Don't need to skip, just pick. Who am I? And he wakes up in the infirmary and you gives him 2 white pills. It makes an innuendo. Let's try both of these here. So let's try thanks. Thanks. I took the pills and gulped them down.
多分軽い気圧障害だと思うよ。
It's probably just mild barotraumas and decompression sickness.
よくいるのよ、お客さんで。
It happens to a lot of visitors.
突然具合が悪くなって運び込まれちゃう人が。
They just feel ill all of a sudden and get carted in here. Okay. And this one, no thanks. I replied instantly. I looked away from her hand.
どうしたの？頭痛いんでしょ？
What's the matter? Your head hurts, right? Yeah, but some people don't like the idea of taking painkillers because it's wimpy. I took like a pain pill twice in my life. Yeah, I took pain pills twice in my life, and they were both in the same 12-hour period. Never before, and never after.
だ
Yeah,
ったら飲まないと痛み引かないよ。
then if you don't take these, the pain won't go away. Not necessarily. Pain is meant to be felt. Pain suddenly continued to throb through my skull. The pills in her hand would help to ease that pain. I understood all of that. Yet for some reason, I wanted to look away from the medicine.
あ、わかっ
I get
た。
it.
さては君、
I see you.
お薬苦手なんでしょ
You don't like the taste, right?
う。もう情けないな。
That's kind of sad.
でも大丈夫。この薬ちっとも苦くなんてないから。
That's okay, this medicine isn't bitter at all.
苦いところか、芳醇で濃厚な甘みが口いっぱいに広がっていき、それでいて少しもしつこくなく。
It's more than not bitter. It's got a mellow, sweet, full flavor that floods through your mouth without an aftertaste. Ouch. My headache had gotten worse.
ほら、言わんこっちゃない。
I told you so.
どうしても飲めないって言うなら、お尻から座薬を入れちゃうぞ。
If you really can't drink it, then I can give it to you anally via a suppository. For an instant, I feared my chastity might be violated and grabbed the belt of my pants. All right, I'll drink it. Feeling half threatened, I drank the medicine even though I didn't want to. It was super
多
bitter.
分、軽い気圧障害だと思うよ。
Okay, I'll just leave it at that with that decision because that's way funnier. But it probably doesn't matter. Okay. A lot of introspection stuff. Everything goes. There's a disaster that happens, right? And they have to escape the skin of their wisdom tooth. Well, the kid might not have wisdom teeth, but you know. You might not have them either. Sometimes you don't get them when you're only 18. Okay, so what do you want to? What are you gonna do? Do you want to hear it or not? Which is it? Um, what is this? Maybe there's a secret spell or something. Oh, it won't open. No, maybe there's a secret spell or something. Spell, you mean open sesame? What kind? That kind of spell? There you go, taking me seriously. Well, well, what then? You really want to know? Yeah, maybe you'd better not ask, huh? So what are you gonna do? You want to hear it or not? Which is it? Okay. We're gonna try saving this. Try don't ask first. I don't want to know.
は
Huh?
なんでよ、聞きなさいよ。
Why not? Ask away. But you said that I better not ask, right?
本当に純情だよね、君。
You're so naive. What's wrong with being naive?
いけなくはないけど、損するよ、何かと。
Nothing wrong with it, but you miss out somehow.
まあいいや、とにかく教えてあげよ
Whatever, anyway, I'll tell you. I said I don't want to hear.
う。うるさい、死の子の言わずに黙って聞きやがれ。
I've got a wet hair version of that sprite. Okay. Be quiet, shut up and listen already.
さっき君はいきなり水密費が締まり始めたってそう言ったよね。
You just were talking about how the watertight doors started closing all of a sudden, right? Yeah.
つまりあの扉は自動閉鎖されたんだ。
That means that the doors closed automatically. Closed automatically?
浸水を感知したレミが危険なエリアの水密費を自動的に閉めちゃったってこと。
It may detected flooding and automatically shut the doors in the areas that were in danger. What's the man?
このレミュー内のすべての電子的システムを統括管理しているメインコンピューター、その略称みたいなもんね。
That's what we call the main computer that supervises and manages all the electronic systems in Lemu. Okay, I'm going to go back and see what happens if I do ask.
どうするの？聞くの？聞かないの？どっち？ OK。なら教えてあげよう。
I'll tell you.
さっき君はいきなり水密費が締まり始めたってそう言ったよね。
I'll leave it on the ask side because that seems nicer. It's too lazy to go back to the save and reload it. Another thing I noticed is there tends to be a room or fair or amusement park ride that is commonly associated with each of the characters. For example, Sora, it's the Dolphin Carousel. Even though when you first go there as Takeshi, you meet you there, Sora is the person who has CGs there and who Takeshi associates with that. Tsugumi, of course, it's the Quale, the jellyfish gondola, which, if you remember, Kurumi liked jellyfish, and although not explicitly stated, it was implied that Haruka was a jellyfish. Okay. I'm gonna try. I think asking you would be better, but I'm gonna do a save. Because I think asking you is better, I'm going to hit don't ask first. No, no big deal.
なんでもない？いきなり懸垂始めてなんでもないことはないでしょう。
No big deal. You suddenly start doing chin-ups on the elevator, and then you say it's no big deal. Well, you would have to pronate your hands to grab the elevator thing, and I don't call those chin-ups. I call them pull-ups. I only call them chin-ups when you supinate. Bring your hands so that their palms face towards you. But whatever. It must have just been my imagination. Forget about it.
やれやれ。どうして最近の若いもんはこう素直じゃないんだろうね。
Now, why aren't our youngsters as easygoing as kiddies days? Is that intentional? You shrugged her shoulders in an exaggerated way. It seemed like Mayo was having a little trouble deciding how to react to Yu's behavior. Mayo would glance at me from time to time, but then our eyes met, she would look away.
ナッ
Um,
キュ先輩、この人は？
Nakyu senpai, who is this? Okay. I'm gonna go with,
この少年？
oh, I accidentally made it Sora.
ナッキュ先輩、この人は？
No, actually, oh, Fui, I messed up the saves. Okay, Fui,
どうするの？聞くの？聞かないの？どっち？
save. You save instead of load, it sucks. I was gonna go with ask. Yeah, and then for you, it's the Lemurian Ruin. And then... so the other ones are kind of hard to guess. I think with Coco, it's probably going to be the Cosmic Whale Room, is my guess. For Sara, I think I ran out of amusement park. Maybe I ran out of attractions. We'll have to see. Four, didn't you hear two voices?
二人？
Two? You shot the question right back at me and then looked back at Mayo.
私一人だけでしたよ。
No, it's just me.
他には誰も。
Nobody else. I see. I guess it was just my mind playing tricks on me. Mayo would glance at me from time to time, but okay.
ー
Go to the next one. So we search our way out. Don't find anything. This is not a choice, right? So I can overwrite it. Oh, whatever. Still didn't save with that choice, but I'm still going to save here. I'm going to overwrite it anyway. Okay, so I'm going to try this one first. I know this is the correct answer, that's why I picked it the first time. For example, we could look for other exits or something.
それ以外？君わかってる？ここは海の中なんだよ。
Anything else? Hello, you know we were in the middle of the ocean, right? I know, just not saying to try to escape out a window or anything. Nothing like that. And this was the middle of the ocean, and there must be a duct for outside air, so...
あ、なるほど。その換気用のダクトを伝って脱出しようってわけね。よく映画でやってるみたいに。
Oh, I see. So you're saying that we use that ventilation duct to escape, like they always do in the movies. Yeah, that's what I mean.
残念だけど、それは無理よ。
Sorry, there's no way that's possible. Oh, why
外
not?
部に通じるダクトは人が通れるような大きさじゃないの。
The ducts that go to the outside aren't big enough for people to pass through. No way. My shoulders slumped in disappointment. Sara's face was also covered in dejection.
せめて外にいる友達と連絡が取れたらいいんだけど。
I wish I could at least contact my friends outside.
外と連絡？
Contact outside.
でも携帯も通じないんだし。
But cell phones don't even work.
そっか、制御室。
Oh, right, the control room.
なんで今まで気づかなかったんだろう。
Why didn't I think of this till now?
あそこに行けば少なくとも浮島にいる誰かとは連絡を取ることができるんだ。
From there, we should at least be able to contact someone on the floating island. Yu's face lit up again. Next, light returned to Sara's eyes as well. But... Crash. Okay. This will probably be shorter, but it'll be like the right answer. If I hit, contact the outside. I didn't even read it. Okay, I have to do this one carefully here. So what does don't worry do? But her expression somehow didn't seem fine. It was probably to be expected though. Yeah, there's some connection between Tsugumi and Sara. We already knew that. We just don't know what it is. Was that in my list of the unknowns? I might have forgotten about it. Well, I knew that there's something that Tsugumi stole from Sara, quote unquote, so it was covered to some degree. All kinds of things that happened, and in the end we hadn't found an exit. Mentally, we were pretty well done in. I thought that I should probably leave her alone for the time being.
ともかくここで立ち話をしていても始まりませんから。
Okay. Let's see here. If I hit worry. Huh? What's wrong? I couldn't help but notice a dark look in her eyes. There was nothing left to the ninja attitude that she had departed with. Did something happen? Sara? Sara? Hey.
何？
What? You alright?
平気だよ、全然。
Yeah, fine, great.
どうしてそんなこと聞くの？
Why do you ask? Well, I mean, you look so depressed.
そんなことないってば。
No, it's not that at all.
ただ、
It's just...
出口見つかんなかったから、ちょっとへこんでただけ。
We didn't find an exit, so I'm feeling kinda down. We know that's not what that is. Is that really all that's bothering you?
うん、それだけ。
Yeah, that's all. Sara's spirit seemed to lift a little. Seeing her smile made me feel a bit relieved.
ともかくここで立ち話をしていても始まりませんから。
I'm going for a Sara ending, so I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna stick with the one where I actually talk to Sara. I believe this is flooded all the way in the kids' room. Yeah, it's flooded all the way to that point. Like, at first. Okay. Let's go through all these. Probably all references to some games that I haven't heard of. Probably one of them is Memories Off, but I don't know about any of the other ones. Of course, besides Makoto Ishihara, because obviously the Never 7 protagonist. Tomoya sounds good.
どうや却下ね。絶対無理。
ありえないな。
賛成しかねます。
だって似合わないもの。
ああ、もうめんどいから、少年でいいよ、少年で。
Not to make that mistake again. Okay. So,
なんと却下ね。絶対無理。
ありえないな。
賛成しかねます。
だって似合わないもの。
ああ、もうめんどいから、少年でいいよ、少年で。
シーナ却下ね。絶対無理。
ありえないな。
賛成しかねます。
だって似合わないもの。
ああ、もうめんどいから、少年でいいよ、少年で。
at the translating, it doesn't suit you. Is that like a really common expression in Japanese or something? Some reference to something or something? I don't know. Toki. Don't know what that's from.
もどき却下ね。絶対無理。
ありえないな。
賛成しかねます。
だって似合わないもの。
ああ、もうめんどいから、少年でいいよ、少年で。
Nakin.
いなくね却下ね。絶対無理。
ありえないな。
賛成しかねます。
だって似合わないもの。
ああ、もうめんどいから、少年でいいよ、少年で。
京介却下ね。絶対無理。
ありえないな。
賛成しかねます。
だって似合わないもの。
ああ、もうめんどいから、少年でいいよ、少年で。
どうした却
Oh, he translated it. Okay.
下ね。絶対無理。
ありえないな。
賛成しかねます。
だって似合わないもの。
ああ、もうめんどいから、少年でいいよ、少年で。
They're all the same, so let's keep it with that. Wait a second.
では、小町さんはどのように呼べばいいと思われますか？
I should pay more attention to Tsukumi's dialogue in the kids' route, because I think all throughout the kids, Tsukumi's like, you're trying to do the same thing again, or you're trying to repeat what you did before, which is kind of important to the plot. Enough. Tsugumi pounded the table and stood up. Just what are you trying to do? What are you all thinking? Well, we're thinking of a name. Stop goofing off. We're not thinking about his feelings at all. We're just got a little carried away. That's not what I mean. Well, Tsugumi, what would you suggest that we call him?
ほらね、名前考えるのって結構難しいんだよ。
And Tsugumi's like, not like, they're all absorbed in this one task, and Tsugumi's like, what are you doing just in general?
もういいわ。勝手にやってれば。
Fine, do what you want. And she just leaves. Can you please not touch me? Tsugumi stopped walking and said it in a small voice. Sorry, I apologize that you took my hand from her shoulder. Well, what do you want? I want to save. Keep it, Tsugumi. Okay, I'm gonna try. Why are you so angry? I wondered, why are you so angry? And I jumped directly to the
どう
point.
して面白いこと聞くわね。
You're funny.
私が怒ってる理由がわからないの？
You don't know why I am angry. I don't.
ねえ、もういい加減そういうのやめてほしいんだけど。
Listen, cut it out. I've had enough of that. Just drop it. Of this?
とぼけないでよ。お願いだから。
Don't pretend like you don't know, please. I'm not pretending.
チラチラし。
I see through you.
私、もう何もかも分かってるのよ。
I know everything.
まさか、あなたまでもが奴らの仲間だなんて思いもよらなかったけど。
I don't believe it. I never thought that you'd join up with those guys. Those guys join up. She means Leiblich.
あなた、さっき記憶喪失だって言ったわよね。
You were just talking about amnesia, right? Yeah.
じゃあ、なんで奴らのことを知ってるの？
So how do you know those guys? We explained all that just a bit ago. I remember meeting you. Weren't you listening?
嘘つかないで！
Don't lie to me. Suddenly Tsugumi raised her
バ
voice.
カバカしい！
That's stupid.
とにかく、私は騙されないから。
Anyway, I'm not falling for it.
もう二度と私に声をかけないで。
Don't you ever talk to me
いいわね。
again. Got it? I thought Tsugumi strolled away. Okay, let's try the other one. So I think those guys, she means Leiblich. She doesn't mean like the other characters in the game. It's all like a little double entendre. Let me try the other one though.
何？何のよ？
I haven't even introduced myself. Somehow I couldn't look Tsugumi in the eye. Just our eyes meeting sent my heart pounding.
挨拶なんか必要ないわ。
There's no need. I already know you from the other route, from Takeshi. I already know you from before.
私はあなたとなんか口も聞きたくないの。
I don't want to talk to you. Why not? Did I do something to make you angry?
ねえ、もういい加減そういうのやめてほしいんだけど。
Okay, so yeah, that's like more. So yeah, I'll stick with that. Mostly because I'm too lazy to go back and load. And I'm not going for a Tsugumi route as the kid. Yeah, Tsugumi's dialogue made me have this whole new meaning once we've done Takeshi's route. Takeshi's routes. Could like, it's like kind of disguised as the kid. If you do the kid first. Okay, so this one I believe doesn't matter. I'm gonna do the not really though, just so that I can get this path cleared in the clear list. But that doesn't mean this one doesn't matter. I'm not gonna even drop a save for it. I tilted my
空
head.
気を満たしたペットボトルに蓋をして水の中にどんどん沈めていったらどうなるでしょうか？
Think about what would happen if you took a plastic bottle cap and filled with air and put it deep in water. What would happen? The side of the bottle would dimple in, right?
その通りです。
Exactly.
これはペットボトルの中の空気を水圧がぐいぐいと押したために起こる現象なのです。
This phenomena is due to the air inside the bottle being pushed in by the water pressure.
では、ペットボトルをへこまさないようにするにはどうすればいいと思いますか？
What? So, to keep the bottle from being compressed, what do you have to do? Oh, I see.
答えは簡単です。
The answer is simple.
ボトルの中に もっとたくさんの空気を詰め込んであげればいいのです。
You pack more air into the bottle.
外側から押す力と内側から押し戻す力が釣り合えば、ボトルが変形することはないでしょ。
If the pressure from the outside and the pressure from the inside are in balance, then the bottle's shape will not change.
これが飽和潜水仕様の状態ということになります。少々乱暴な解説ではありますが、
This is what is meant by saturation diving specifications. That's a little bit of a rough example. I think I get it.
ところで空気をパンパンに詰め込んだこのペットボトル、
By the way, in this bottle that we are talking about that is filled with air,
水中に沈めたままの状態で上の方に穴を開けたらどうなるでしょうか。
and immersed in water, what happens when you open a hole in the top? The air will leak,
その後は
and then the air will escape out. Oh, and when the balance of pressure is lost, the bottle will be crushed.
正解です。
That's right.
そしてそれこそがこのレミューで発生した浸水事故の主な原因なのです。
And that is precisely what occurred and the primary cause of the flooding here in Lamu.
内部圧が1気圧にまで減少したせいで、最も脆弱だったガラス面に亀裂が生じ、大量の海水が流れ込むという事態に。
Due to the drop in internal pressure to 1 atmosphere, the weakest area of the structure, the glass, cracked, letting in massive quantities of water. Oh, so that explains that little cutscene in the beginning of Takeshi's route.
その後、被害を最小限に食い止めるべく、レミが浸水箇所の水密費を自動的に閉鎖しました。
Okay. And then let's skip. You have the excessive life form mystery. I still don't quite know the answer to. I guess the only thing I can think of is it's counting Chammy, but I don't even Chammy's even in this route. And it did get 7. It would have to count one more besides Chammy. It would have to include include Sora as well to get up to 7. Unless Coco is alive in this somehow. Yeah, 34 meters for Zweite stock. Because 17 meters from Incel Null to Ersteboden, and then 17 more meters from Ersteboden to Zweite stock. I don't think this one matters, but I'm going to save at it anyway and do the opposite. Because I don't think it matters, I'm going to do the opposite one I chose the first time, just to get that path cleared. I think even that would be impossible.
正しい判断だと思います。
I think you're probably correct. So basically, what you're trying to say is that we can't escape by swimming, right, Sora?
はい。
Yes. I guess in the end, all we can do is wait for help to arrive.
そういうことになります。
That's what it comes down to. Okay, I gotta figure this one out. So, Jellyfish Gondola, would that get me Tsugumi? Let me try it. Next I went to the Jellyfish Gondola. Now, can I skip through here? Yes, I can. That's probably because I already did. Okay,
さっき言ったわよね。
good. Tsugumi was there. Her back was to me, and she was looking at the entrance. I called out to her loudly. Want to ride the gondola? Tsugumi turned to look at me, but she immediately turned her heel and walked away. Wait a minute. I already told you.
もう二度と声をかけないで。
I said
そ
don't
う言っ
ever
たで
talk.
しょ。
I said don't ever talk to me again. But Tsugumi started walking away. Hey, I said wait.
何よ、しつこいわね。
What is it? You were so irritating. You met you and Sara, right?
だから
So what? What did you talk about?
あなたには関係ない。
It's none of your business, and it happened a long time ago.
そんなこと聞くために私を呼び止めたわけ？
Is that why you stopped me? No? The real reason is something else. Before you said something about those guys or something, right? Yeah. What did you mean by that? And I thought she meant Lieblich. Tsugumi stared at me intently. She narrowed her eyes almost as if appraising me. Immediately, by her intense glare, my body stiffened and I swallowed.
あなた一体何者なの？
What is it with you? I don't know. I wish I did know.
わかったわ。
Fine.
もしもあなたが嘘をついてないとしたら、
Well,
一
if
つ
you
だ
aren't
け忠告しといてあげる。
if you aren't lying, then I'll warn you about one thing.
あなたはきっと利用されてるのよ、奴らに。
Those guys, they are probably using you. Again, she's referring to Lieblich. Using me? So who do you mean when you say those guys?
これ以上は言えない。
I can't say more than that, cause plot mystery.
私、まだあなたのこと 100% 信用したわけじゃないの。
I still don't trust you 100% yet,
逆に、私のことを信用してもらっても困るし。
and I don't want you trusting me either.
とにかく、自分の身は自分で守りなさい。
Anyway, look after yourself.
何が起きても、私はあなたのことを助けるつもりはないから。
If something happens, I'm not going to help you. Saying that, Tsugumi turned and left. Having no idea what just happened, I simply stood there. I thought I would go somewhere else. Yeah. Yeah, now that we've done other routes, I understand that now. So, but yeah, it's essentially she thinks that everyone else is working for Lieblich and for some reason are pretending to repeat the situation of Takeshi's route, which means one of Takeshi's routes, potentially the unknown one, leads to Tsukumi being trapped in there a second time. And she thinks it's all a show, something that's like a show put up to manipulate her somehow. Just thinking she traveled back in time or something. And those guys, and she thinks it's orchestrated by Lieblich to try to trick her somehow to cover something up. And so those guys refers to Lieblich Pharmaceuticals. Anyway, the merry-go-round you would think would be control room, security office. Carousel Delphine. Wonder, this is Sora's place, right? Oh, it's you. Okay. Oh, I get a different dialogue. Okay. That reminds me, how are things with Tsugumi? Okay. I've paused on there for some reason. Here's Sara. I'll talk to you first, okay. What happened with
別
Tsugumi?
に何も？
Nothing really. Well, you seem pretty down.
結局何も話してくれなかったってこと。私たちだけで空回りしてるみたいで、なんだか疲れちゃって。
In the end, she didn't tell us anything. We were just running in circles and it wore me out. I see. Feminine intuition aside, not even the two girls had been able to get through to her, even though there was no apparent reason for Tsugumi to hold a grudge. What could Tsugumi have been so angry with us about? Okay. talk to Coco. And Takeshi walks in, and Coco's not there, and you're like, what? Explaining the bins. Draw on Takeshi's face.
ダメ。もう、いくす。
Why is this different? Okay, pause me here. Oh no, I'm coming. Maybe it's randomly generated. Takeshi shamelessly carried on like that, looking happily asleep. You should get different lines sometimes.
ユウの体。
Okay, use body.
ほらクラナリ、勝手に人を夢の中に出す。
ああいうやめろ。食わないでくれ。それは食い物じゃねえぞ。だからやめて。やめて。
Stop, don't eat. That's not food. Wow. That's a brazen. That's brazen. Get the projection to how long it's gonna last. Tsugumi just shows up. I gotta read that. Tsugumi was in front of the control room. She's leaning against the wall, her arms folded and facing down. Morning. Tsugumi slowly raised her head. Hey, Tsugumi, where'd you go last night? Are you alright? Sora was telling us about there was a sudden change in air pressure. The bends? I know. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. Huh? Flashed in my mind. It seemed like something about Tsugumi had changed from the day before. Maybe it was loneliness, but her attitude and way of talking had been toned down. Are you really fine? Yeah. Let's add this thing that makes me you're invincible, even to the bends, apparently. Which is like, if she doesn't get the bends, because she's that resilient, which it doesn't make a lot of physical sense, because, again, the bends is a physical thing, it's not a, like, disease thing. Then then you would realistically think that in the Tsugumi ending, Tsugumi could have jumped out of the submersible and swam to the surface, and despite that huge decompression, could have survived. And Takeshi would have floated up in the submersible. But for some reason, Takeshi had to jump out and drown. Anyway, me making fun of that. That sucks so bad. At Tsugumi's urging, Sara and I entered the control room. Tsugumi's like, let's go inside. I'm sorry that I had to have... Okay. There we go. So you play with Sara a bit. Good. Let's try all of these. So first, we'll start with Minnie Mouse. I choose Minnie.
そんなのできないよ。
I can't do that. Those are the rules.
わかったよ。やればいいんでしょ、やれば。
All right, I'll do it. Okay then, Sara Matsunaga, become Minnie.
ラパン、リーゲン、ガディエモン。
Okay.
お宝はいただくわよ。
Who's the leader of the club that's made for you and me? And
何やって
then,
んの？
what are you doing? You appear to interchange clothes. Okay. Caesar one was better. Oops, I goofed up. I have to go all the way back here. Phooey. I'm not letting go of that though. I'm gonna go through all those, so I have to drop a save with that choice. Accidentally save. Accidentally hit save instead of load and saved on top of when I should have wanted to load. As usual. The lack of instant skip punishes me hard for that. So much to skip through. One more. I'll have to go through the decompression again too. And flat as a board? I don't get that one. Okay. Put the save back down. Cool. And now I'm gonna do a spoiled baby. I'll have you act out a spoiled baby.
あ、それ結構得意だったりするかも。
Oh, I might be good at that. Really?
うん、
Yep. Alright then, Sarah Matsunaga, become a spoiled baby.
僕はいいわん。
I'm little Sara.
ミルクが冷たいよ。
That milk's cold.
ちゃんと人肌に温めてくんなきゃ。
Drink that milk unless you warm it up to body temperature. Sorry, I can't remember what babies are like, but I don't know if that was close. And then...
何やってんの？
Oh, okay. Load, not save. You.
ユウってナッキュ先輩のこと？
You mean Naku? Yep.
なんだ、そんなの簡単じゃん。
But that's easy. Easy.
うん、行くよ。
Okay, here I go.
関東愚連会紅爆走連合7代目総長田中優よろしく。
I am Blue Tanaka, the seventh leader of the Crimson Motorcycle Gang, the baddest group of Kanto hooligans. You is that?
ついこないだまでね。
Well, just until just the other day.
今は片木に戻ったみたいよ。
Now she seems to be leading a normal, decent life. I see. And
何やっ
then,
てんの？
I'm gonna stick with that one. That one's probably the best. I definitely want to pick one of the lower two, where she's like, "Yeah, I can do that," not like the top two. Okay. Power goes out, then then Takeshi, you and the kid fix it instead of Tsugumi this time. Which means you miss out on some good stuff. Wait, what did Tsugumi do there? Takeshi and Tsugumi approached, walking through the door. Walking through water. Hey, have you seen Sora? I thought that she was in the control room. Okay, it's empty. Really? Okay. So Tsugumi was just happened to be with Takeshi off screen doing something.
空か。
行きたいなら勝手にどうぞ。
She'll come back for sure. Come back. Kid ignored my question. Okay. Let's see. So, what are you going to do? I think we should go to the generator room. Okay. Tsugumi, you'll come along, won't you? Sorry, but I'm not up for it. What? I'm not going. Which is weird because she went. If you want to go, be my guest. It's like, I've already been there, done that. That's boring. You guys do it this time. Saying that, Tsugumi left. It didn't look like it would be any use calling after her.
まったくもう本当にわけのわからんやっちゃなあいつは。
Oh, you sir might have had amnesia or something. You would know if you didn't lose your memories at some point conveniently. Yeah. Okay, I'll do I don't understand just so I can check this off the list of things. And this one's not going to matter, so I'm just going to go through. Sorry, I don't get it at all.
そっか。少年は記憶喪失中だからしょうがないよね。
Well, the kid's lost his memory, so it's to be expected.
じゃあマヨ、説明してあげて。
Alright then, Mayo, how about an explanation?
はーい。
Okay.
アルキメデスの原理。物体にかかる浮力はその物体が押しのけた液体の重さに等しい。
Archimedes' principle states that the buoyant force of a submerged object is equal to the weight of the liquid displaced by the object.
つまりね、今エレベーターにかかっている浮力はエレベーター全体の総重量とちょうど釣り合ってるの。
Which means right now the buoyancy of the elevator is exactly balanced with the elevator's weight.
だからエレベーターをどんどん重くしてやればいずれそれが浮力を上回って。
So if we make the elevator heavier, it will outweigh the buoyancy. And so the elevator will sink, right?
そういうこと。
Got it. Just gotta go find a frozen tuna.
いやー、すっごい迷ったら頭いい。
A good work, Mayo. You're so bright. You petted Sara's head as she praised her.
賢い賢い。
Smart girl.
どっかの誰かさんと違ってね。
I like some other people here, referring to Takeshi. Although Takeshi do have an option to say you do know in his route. Now, I'm going to say I'll wait here on this one. The reason is I want to do the more Sara thing and less of the you thing. I'll wait here.
だってよ、どういたしますか？
So what are we going to do?
仕方ないな。じゃあ蔵なりで我慢しますか。
Oh well, then I'll have to make do with Takeshi.
だぐ可愛くねえな。もっと素直に喜ばんかい。
Geez, you're a piece of work. Can't you let your real feelings show?
変な気起こしたら張り倒すからね。
Don't be getting any strange ideas. You do, and I'll knock you down, got it?
安心してくれ。間違ってもお前だけは絶対に襲わねえ。
Take it easy. There's no way I'd try anything, even by mistake. Well, yeah, you would pull up Tsugumi's skirt by some distracted thought, so when the two of them disappeared at the far end of the corridor, they were still going at it.
あの二人さ、
Those two. Yeah,
なんだかんだ言って結構いいコンビだと思わない？
I don't know. I think they make a pretty good couple, don't you? Well, you ship everybody, Sara. Think so?
ナッキ先輩って気に入った相手には遠慮しない性格だから心を包み隠さないっていうか。
Yeah, Naki was the kind of person who tells people she likes what she really thinks. She speaks her mind.
たけしも似たようなタイプっぽいしね。
Takeshi kinda seems like that too. I wasn't sure why, but somehow I was a little jealous of you and Takeshi. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't open up to anyone like that. I had nothing to share. A while after the two had disappeared, Sara and I hadn't spoken another word. The two of us just leaned against the wall and stared into the darkness. I was desperately trying to think of a way to break through the wall that had formed between us. Sara, how old are you? Finally, the words tumbled out of my mouth.
突然何？っていうか教えてなかったっけ？
Where did that come from? I thought I told you. I don't think so.
高校2年生16歳1月21日生まれ水亀座。
I'm a junior. I'm 16 and I was born January 21st. Conveniently omitting the year. Oh, and I'm an Aquarius. Sara rattled it off so smoothly she might have been singing a song she knew.
で少年は？
And you, kid? I didn't know. When I tried to remember, it was like my mind would fog over. I couldn't get close to it. It was like a mirage in the desert. I wonder how old I am.
そんなこともわからないんだ。
You don't know that either? Nope.
なんだか寂しいね。
That's kind of sad. You could be extremely old, but you got the cure, so like you didn't age. Yeah.
だけどそれでよかったのかもしれないよ。
Maybe it's good in a way. What do you mean?
いっそ忘れてしまいたいような過去だったのかも。
Well, maybe it was something that you wanted to forget about. Oh, how old he was. Which, if there's something special about how old he is, yeah.
なんてね。
Just kidding. Oh, you were just kidding, you say. Sara's expression relaxed into a silly look. What? Don't scare me like that.
ごめんごめん。
Sorry.
あ、そうだ。切り倒してみたらわかるかもよ。少年が何歳なのか。
I know, maybe if I chopped you down, we'd find out how old you are. You just need to take a core sample, okay? Gee whiz. Huh?
木の切り株みたいに年輪が刻まれてるかも。
You know, maybe you've got rings like a tree stump. For some reason, my eyes strayed to the palms of my hands. In darkness only dimly illuminated by the emergency lights, my fingers appeared to glow slightly white. I still didn't know what had happened to my finger.
指
Your finger? Yeah, we didn't figure that. I thought we figured that out in Takeshi's route somewhere, but we didn't. Oh, here we go. Muttering this, Sara grabbed my finger. It was so sudden, it put me at a loss for words. In the darkness, Sara whispered words as if confirming something as she gripped my thumb.
長弓背押し月のせい
Moon sprite, shouldering a longbow.
夢の中より待ち降りぬ
Waiting inside a dream. What does that mean? Sara just shook her head. There was no sign that she was going to answer me. She just murmured the words like a spell or a nursery rhyme as she held my thumb gently. A moon sprite. I wondered why Sara had suddenly grabbed my thumb. Still, I didn't have any urge to pull it away from her. As I remained aware of my thumb, I searched for an answer from Sara's slightly sweaty warm palm.
お待たせ
We're back.
多分これでもう大丈夫だと思う。
I think we'll be okay
お
now.
目当てのバルブを探すのに結構手間取っちゃったけど
It was a hassle looking for the valve, but with the two back, Sara finally released my thumb. In the darkness, I couldn't very well make out Sara's expression. The area around Sara's mouth pulled slightly down as if she were sad. Warmth lingered around my thumb. I don't know why, but I hesitated to wipe the warmth away and gently inserted my hand into the pocket, leaving my thumb extended. With this, we would be able to shut off the hot water. Okay. Oh. Takeshi and you tackled the main work. There was hardly anything for Sara and myself to do, so we knew squat about machines. Well, Sara knows about electronics to some degree. It depends on how much she understands what goes on under the hood. We functioned as assistants, shining flashlights, handing over tools, and loosening valves as instructed. After this and that, we succeeded in repairing the generator. It was just like Sara had said, the cause of the blackout was the opening of the safety valve due to the drop in air pressure. That skips that whole, like, you scene thing. Okay.
.そんなことよりも倉成さんが
Okay. What did Tsugumi say? Tsugumi just stood there waiting for Sara, staring at Sara and me. Okay. Forget about that now. More importantly, Takeshi. Sora was still flustered and babbling next to the fish. Oh, okay. This is the thing where she thinks Takeshi turned into a fish. Okay. So what prompts this? got all this time, so I thought I'd go for a little walk. Oh, in that case, you can bring me back something to drink. Huh? Why was it in that case? Was going for a walk? Okay, so let's see what happens if I say I don't think so. Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. Get it yourself.
お願いされてくれないんだ。
You won't do me a favor? Nope.
なんだよ、使えないやつだな。
Why not? You're no use. That's exactly why you shouldn't be asking favors of me.
いい？少年は記憶喪失だから知らないだろうけど、こういう時男の子はいいよって答えるものなの。
Listen, kid, you've got some kind of memory problem, so you probably don't know. But at times like this, guys are supposed to say, sure. I don't think so. No matter how much memory I've lost, I know that much.
じゃあ、たけしに聞いてみようか。
Do you want me to ask Takeshi?
ナッキョ先輩でもいいけど。
Or maybe knock you?
ねえねえ、たけし。
Takeshi. Sara started calling to Takeshi sitting on the other side of the table. Alright, I got it.
あ、ほんと？
Really? I gave up. I was sure that Takeshi and you would side with Sara. I felt like I had fallen into a trap. You can't complain no matter what I bring back, okay?
オッケー。
Okay, here we go again. Does let me skip? Okay, it does. So, oops, don't do that. I made that mistake before. If you can't see my drop downs though, you see my mouse move in weird ways, you don't know what's going on with it. Okay. Now I'm gonna do no problem because I want to be nice to Sara, because I want to get the Sara out. No problem.
うん、いいよ。
Referencing Ever17 to Mental Guts. Takeshi figures out that Sora is a projection. Okay, it's gonna be just like you're pretending to not know that Sora's an RSD. This is ridiculous, and she just walks out. Okay. Forgot what this does. Is Sara a programmer?
ううん。趣味でやってる程度だって本人は言ってるけど。
Yeah, but she says it's just a
でも
hobby.
彼女の腕はプロ顔負けっていうレベルでね。
She's as good as a pro. Okay, I don't need to deal with that one. So let me do hacker.
なんて言ったらいいんだろう。コンピューターを扱うエキスパートとでも言うのかな。
Yeah, how should I explain this? I guess you could say it's a computer expert of sorts.
とにかくパソコンにすっごく詳しいの。おまけにプログラミングの腕もプロ顔負けっていうレベルでね。
Anyway, she knows everything about computers, and she kicks butt when it comes to programming too.
趣味でプログラムを組むことはもちろん、この間なんかクラッキングコンテストで優勝しちゃったぐらいだし。
She writes programs for kicks. Just the other day, she got first place in some cracking contest. Cracking contest?
暗号破りのコンテストのこと。言っておくけど、犯罪じゃないよ。
Contest to break codes. Just so you know, it's not illegal.
暗号技術の会社が開催する技術の安全性の確認を目的に行われる合法的なクラッキングで。
Sponsored by some company with code technology. It was legal cracking to test security of its
そ
technology.
こでハッカーたちに自社のアルゴリズムをわざと攻撃させるの。
The company has hackers attack their algorithms. Uh-huh. I was getting more and more lost.
まあ要するに 暗号解読ゲームの大会だと考えて差し支えないと思う。
Just think of it as a decryption game contest. Oh, so it's a game.
そこで優勝するってことは世界でも屈指のハッカーということになるの。でも彼女のこの間なんか
Okay. Sora explains RSD to the kid.
Hmm?
ここまで行ってまだわからないかな。もっと頭を使う。ほれほれ。
These mini hints and you still don't get it, use your head. You put her fingers on Sara's temples and massage them teasingly.
やめてください。そこ弱いんです。
Stop it, that tickles.
おお、そうかそうか。ここがええんか。ほれほれ。
Oh, you like that, do you?
ダメ。そこは本当に本当に。
Stop, I said I mean it.
相変わらず頭が弱いの、マヨは。
As much a ditz as ever, Mayo.
そうなんです。私は昔から頭が。
I know, I've had this problem ever since I was little.
誰がバカなんじゃ。
What are you saying? Not that stupid. Wax Sara lightly slapped you on the forehead. Their shades was enough to make the rest of us feel stupid. Enough of that, just tell me.
仕方ないな。
Oh well.
少年は一人と喧嘩するのと4人と喧嘩するのどっちがいい？
Listen, kid, would you ever rather fight one person or four people? Neither.
どっちか選ぶ。
Just pick one. One, I guess.
どうして？
Why? Against four people, I wouldn't stand a chance.
でしょ？つまりそういうこと。
Right, that's what I mean. Huh?
田中さんは物量作戦で行こうと、そういうことなんですよ。
So that's what you means by a strategy of numbers.
そう。私たちがいっぺんに押しかければ鬼は手も足も出ないはずなの。
Yep, if we all mob... Okay. I'm gonna go with what makes me sound like I know the answer.
その通り。
But that was funny. Oops.
Yes! その通り。そう。私たちが
Okay. With this one, I'm going to do the go with you because I haven't gotten that path yet. And then I'll come back and go with Sara and Sora because I want to do all the Sara stuff ultimately.
あれ少年もこっち来たの？
Kid, you decided to come this way. Yeah, but where do you plan to hide?
それを今考えてるところ。
I'm thinking about that as we speak. We kept running.
さてどうしようかな。
Alright, what are we gonna do? As we scanned the area for trouble, we looked for a hiding place.
意外な場所に隠れないとすぐに見つかっちゃうしな。
Unless we hide somewhere unexpected, he'll find us right away. Well, let's go in a room for now. As I said that I heard something. Somebody is coming.
マヨたちじゃないの？
Probably Mayo and Sora. Probably. We peered through the darkness in the direction of the sound. We could see someone's silhouette. That build could only be... No, it's Takeshi.
え、本当？
Really? Hurry, we gotta hide. We dove into the nearest room. It was the elevator hall. What are we gonna do? There's nowhere to hide. Takeshi steadily approached.
そうだ、あの中に隠れるわよ。
I know, let's hide in there. Huh, where? Yu's finger is pointing at the elevator that was stuck on its way to Svitestock. It was the one that Sara had been stuck in the day before. The door was still open. First, Yu lifted me up on her shoulders and I hurried into the elevator. Then I pulled her up. Humph. So we were able to hide just an instant before Takeshi came. We held our breath, watching silently. No emergency light even lit the corridor. Just profound darkness and silence. I could hear Yu crouched next to me breathing. Though I could almost hear my heart. I hope he doesn't find us.
来たみたいよ。
Shh. He's here. Takeshi appeared at the bottom of the stairs. He seemed that he hadn't pinned down our position. He was still glancing around. My heart rate rocketed. It pounded in my ears. I put my hand on my chest as if to hold it in check. Oh no, please don't let him find us. Takeshi just stood there, as if he were sure that we were around.
あれ変だな。こっちの方で足音がしたはずなんだが。
That's strange. I could have sworn I heard footsteps over here.
気のせいだったのか。
I guess that was just my imagination. Then Yu sneezes. It looked like he had finally given up. Phew. Just as I thought the crisis had passed. A sneeze welled up inside me. Why now? I clamped my hand on my mouth as I desperately tried to hold it back. Somehow I managed to keep it in.
Oi! そこにいるな。誰だ?
Hey, I know someone's there. Who is it?
見つかった。逃げるわよ。
You found us. Run. Yeah, but where could we run?
平気。私に任せて。
No problem. Leave it to me. The next instant, you threw herself out of the elevator. And made a spectacular dive, turning it into a stunning drop kick.
うおー
We fought well, but Takeshi found us. Can't stomp. A short while later, we found Sara and Sora too. We met in the conference room. Okay. Now I know how that U route goes, and I got that UCG. Okay. But for this playthrough, I want to do this one.
あら少年さん
Yeah, it still hasn't been revealed who leaks the can. I'm only guessing it's Jammy. That's the only thing I can think of. Okay. I think you go do these just in order. Tsugumi, I caught you. Tsugumi looked at me like I was a fly in her soup. She glared at me. I'm not playing. Come on, you already kicked the can twice. Using my hamster as a surrogate. Okay. We want to get Sara. So let's try this. Hamurian Ruins is you. Here we go. Oh yeah, I forgot. You can't actually find Sara. You have to get that. Okay. Okay. Trying to figure out who ate the hot dogs, and we presume that Tsugumi stole them for Chammy. If Chammy's still alive, which I presume he is because he's immortal. Unless it's a she. Oh, do we have the... Okay. Dude, it's just so I can get the path. Of course I had no clue.
ねえマヨ、このアホにもわかるように教えてあげてよ。
Geez, Mayo, explain it so that this idiot can understand it.
はーい。
Okay. Sara cleared her throat, put on her explanation face, and started speaking.
本来ハッキングとは素早くリズミカルにキーボードを操作する様子、つまりコンピューターを操る行為そのものを指し示す言葉なのである。
Originally, hacking as a word meant the rhythmical manipulation of a computer.
このハッキングのできる人のことをハッカーと呼び、転じてそれはコンピューター技術者、研究者のエキスパートの継承として用いられるようになった。
People who could do this were called hackers. That evolved into the word hacker for technicians and research computer experts.
多分たけしはハッキングっていう言葉をニュースで取り沙汰されるコンピューター犯罪者の不正行為。
Probably what you're thinking about is the hacking they talk about on the news, meaning a crime committed using a computer.
例えばシステムの機密情報を不正に取り出したり破壊したりする行為として認知しているものだと思われる。
Like when someone steals secret information or destroys data via computer.
でもそれは誤りなのだよ。
But that's a mistake.
そういった行為のことを正しくはクラック、あるいはクラッキングといい全くの別物なのだ。
That kind of thing is called cracking. It's completely different. And because these localized Asian people didn't really speak English very well, they kind of got it wrong.
そしてコンピューター犯罪を犯す人もクラッカーと呼び、区別されるべき存在なのである。
And the people that do this are known as crackers. You need to make a distinction between them.
以上。
Unfortunately, that was a slur, but hopefully YouTube doesn't think it's a slur. And you clap loudly.
わかった。要するにハッキングと犯罪は正しい意味では何の関連性もないの。
Got it, there is really no connection whatsoever between the word hacking and criminal activity.
あれはコンピューター技術の向上を目的とした知的な集まりだったんだからね。
Okay.
それで結局サラはそのまま入部したわけだ。
So, I'm gonna pick the one where I like affirm, but I don't think that matters. I get it. Well, I figured that I'd have to explain it. Takeshi, listen. Originally, hacking is a word meant. Okay. Cool. Okay, this is the whole hot dog controversy. Something goes wrong. Takeshi and Tsugumi go to fix the pipes, but Tsugumi remembers how she messed up previously, so they do it right this time, and no one gets hurt. I have to decide what to do. This is a choice I didn't even have before, because none of these are highlighted. New content, yes. Okay. You don't even get this choice if you don't do enough Sara stuff. Okay. Let's look at the backlog here. Yeah, I was literally. Hey kid, will you go look for Naku? Me? Yeah, I was a little worried about her. I was also worried about Sara and everyone going off suddenly like that. An extra set of hands couldn't hurt. I had to decide what to do. I'm gonna make repairs with Sara. Takeshi, I'll come along and help with the repairs.
ナッキョ先輩はどうするの？
What about Naku? This might be a guy dang it because Sara cares a lot about Naku, and so it might be like oopsing. You're tougher than the rest of us. She'll be fine. Besides, if something was wrong, she would use Lemay to contact us.
でもさっきの揺れで先輩の身に何かあったとしたら。
But if something happened to her during that shaking,
それは大丈夫です。
you needn't worry about it.
現時点ではレミューの内部に直接的な被害は発生していない模様です。
Currently, there appears to be no direct damage inside of Lemay.
田中さんの居場所についてももうしばらくすればセンサーが回復しますのですぐに判明すると思います。
As for Yu's whereabouts, the sensor should be online in a moment, and then I will be able to detect her.
よし、ひとまず U のことは後回しだ。倉庫の状況を確認して、それから考えよう。
Alright, well forget about you for now. Let's go check the warehouse and then we'll worry about everything else. Alright. She's fine, I promise. Promise? How could I promise that? But somehow I was sure of it, because I did the other route and I knew.
わかった。
Okay. With that one word, the tension seemed to leave Sara.
何やっているの？置いていくわよ。
What are you doing? You're going to get left behind. The next thing I noticed, we were the only people left in the room. Sara and I chased after everyone. We quickly climbed the stairs. We were told that it wasn't urgent, but we still couldn't afford to be careless. Tsugumi quickly shouldered the heavy toolbox, climbing higher and higher. Sara and I followed her while Takeshi and Sora lagged behind. Hey Tsugumi! I called out to Tsugumi up ahead. What? Tsugumi responded without looking back. There is something that's been bugging me.
だから何？
What? Why were you eating a hot dog? I still couldn't figure it out. Tsugumi's behavior was incomprehensible to me. When I hit upon it, it was like she had been showing off. But what she said
食べ
was
たかったからよ。
because I wanted to eat a hot dog. That's
いけ
it.
ない？
Is that wrong? I don't think it's wrong, but
でもたけしが怒るって思わなかったの？
didn't you think it might make Takeshi angry? Sara chimed in with a question of her own.
彼の予定なんて私の知ったことじゃないわ。
How could I know what he is thinking? I suppose you're right. We didn't know about them until right before either. After that, we fell into silence. It looked like Takeshi and Sora were having a low-key conversation behind us.
そうね。
Well, Tsugumi started to speak
ちょっと
suddenly.
いたずらしたかったのかも。
Maybe I did want to play a trick on him, just a little bit.
ん？
For a second, I didn't know what she was talking about. Then I realized she meant the whole hot dog thing.
思ったより手強いわね、あいつ。
He's even more stubborn than I thought. Tsugumi gave a rare laugh. But it was the kind of laugh that would raise the hair on the back of your neck. We finally arrived at Zweite stock. Looking around the floor, everything seemed normal, but we could hear a hissing sound coming from somewhere. We walked towards the sound.
それにしても昨日は何ともなかったのにな。
Yesterday, everything was fine here.
急に異常が起きるなんてどうしてだと思う？
Why do you think something would go wrong all of a sudden?
そうですね。何もかも予想通りとはいかないものですが、
Well, not everything goes as forecasted.
みんなが飛び跳ねたからじゃないの？
It's probably because you were all running around like lunatics. Huh?
ほら、みんなで騒がしくしてたから。
You guys are making such a fuss.
だからレミューが傾いちゃったのかな。
Probably threw Lemu off its axis.
なんちゃって。
Just kidding. Tsugumi's flippant remark had tensed the atmosphere around us.
どうしたの？置いていくわよ。
What's wrong? If you don't hurry, I'll leave you behind. Tsugumi walked briskly ahead. Hey, what's the matter with her?
私に聞かれたって。
How would I know?
ひょっとして頭でも打ったんじゃねえのか？
She knows the situation. She knows she's going to the place where she got hurt previously. She probably fell on her head. That's changing her mood probably somehow. She's on the I'm gonna do it right this time mood.
驚きましたね。
She really is quite unpredictable. For a while, all we could do is stand around not knowing what to say. We had arrived in front of the room, making the strange noise.
やっぱりこの音倉庫の中から聞こえるな。
So it's coming from inside the warehouse.
ちょっと倉庫内の状態をスキャンしてきますね。
I will run a scan to determine the situation inside. Saying that, Sora disappeared.
開けたら蒸気が大爆発とかしないよな。
The steam in there isn't going to explode if we open the door, right? Tsugumi fixed her eyes on the door.
そうね。
I already know this situation, so I know the answer.
平気なんじゃない？
It's probably fine.
わかるのか？もしかして。
How would you know? Do you?
適当に言ってみただけよ。
I'm just saying what you want to hear. Sora appeared in front of the door.
確認しました。
Is that it? I have finished the diagnostic.
気圧正常、有毒ガスの発生なし。室内気温、湿度はともにわずかずつですが上昇中。
Atmospheric pressure is normal, no traces of toxic gas detected. However, the temperature and humidity in the room are slightly elevated.
パイプの一部が破損して少し水が漏れています。水深は深いところで10センチ程度です。
An area of the pipe has ruptured and there is a slight water leak. The water is about 4 inches at its deepest point.
そんなことだろうと思ったわ。
Exactly what happened before.
はい？
What?
なんでもないわ。それなら大したことないわね。
Nothing. If that's all that's wrong, it should be no problem.
まあ、そうですね。
It's gonna be kind of confusing if you... Yeah, well, whatever. No, I suppose not. This is why I kind of recommend you play that as the kid first. If I were to, recommending a route order is not good, because it's spoilers. But for some reason, if I had to, by some contrivance, that was required to specify a route order to somebody. I would say play as the kid first because it would confuse you more and that would be more entertaining. Because if you play as Takeshi first, this stuff that Tsugumi's saying might give you too much away too fast.
中に入ろう。修理すれば問題なくなるんだろ。
Let's go in. If we fix it, there won't be a problem, right?
はい、お願いします。
Yes, please hurry. We opened the door. We looked toward the wall that was making the hissing sound. There was a faint crack in the pressure regulating pipe and water was dancing out of it in a fine mist.
本当に大丈夫なの？
Are you sure this is okay?
多分。
Maybe.
平気よ。この程度ならすぐに直せるわ。
Sure, something small like this we can fix in a second. Tsugumi opened up the toolbox and started taking out tools.
どうすればいい？
What should I do? Well, you open and close pipes with red valves and blue valves.
パイプが少し歪んでしまっているわ。金具を締め直すからパイプを持って支えてくれる？
The pipe bit bent. I'm going to reset the metal fitting. Would you support the pipe for me?
あ、了解。
Roger that.
私は？
What should I do?
向こうのこのパイプがつながってるバルブがあるの。わかる？あれを少しだけ緩めてほしいの。
Over there is a valve connecting to this pipe. You see it? I want you to loosen that a bit.
御意でござる。
At your service. What about me?
指示するから私に必要な道具を渡してちょうだい。
I'll tell you which tools I need and you pass them to me. Got it. We started to work. We opened and closed a number of valves, connected and repaired pipes, and welded shut cracks.
それにしても手慣れてるな。
You're good at this. Yes, you've done the exact same thing before and failed.
何が？
And what?
溶接だよ。どこかで覚えたのか？
Welding. Where'd you learn to weld?
知りたいの？
You really want to know?
いや、それはお前。
No, I mean,
どうでもいいことを聞くの悪い癖よね。
no, asking meaningless questions is a bad habit of yours.
こう言えば満足？
Satisfied?
はあ？なんだそりゃ。
Oh, what does that mean?
わかったよ。もう聞かねえよ。
Is this unlocked by getting the Tsugumi route or something? Alright, I won't ask anymore. Every once in a while, I felt that Tsugumi's words seemed out of place. I stole glances at Tsugumi's expression as I gave and took back tools. Of course, her face didn't really tell me anything. So I watched this for a while from the side. After a while, an intercom in the corner of the room sounded.
あれ、なんだ？呼び出しか？
Takeshi, what's that? Somebody calling? Oh, I said his name.
田中さんからです。どうやら警備室の方にいらっしゃるようです。
It's from you. It appears that she's in the security office.
先輩無事だったんだ。
So Nakyu's alright. That's a relief.
すいませんが皆さん、田中さんが私を呼んでいます。向こうに行かなくてはならないのですが。
Excuse me, everyone, but you is calling. I must be going.
ああ、行ってきてくれ。こっちはなんとかなりそうだ。
Okay, go for it. We should be able to handle the rest ourselves.
はい。では、あとはお願いしますね。
Okay, I'll leave the rest to you. Sora approached the intercom and disappeared as if it had sucked her in. We knew she could travel instantly, but it was still an odd sight.
少年、こっちの方はもういいから、向こうのバルブの操作をお願い。
Kid, I'm all set here, so please work on the valves for me. What? Sure, no problem. I moved over to the area by the pipes that she
ま
indicated.
ず、そこの青いバルブを。
Here we go. First, the blue valve. What? Oh, what was that? For a second, I saw something.
そうしたら、次に赤いバルブをひねって。
I twist the blue valve. The intercoms continued to ring, and the hissing sound of the steam persisted. That feeling I just had, that was like before. I know. It was like when I was going to the conference room from the kiosk this morning.
それじゃあサラ、少しそこで待ってて。
Now, Sara, hold right there for me.
準備 OK。
Okie dokie, all
少
set.
年、今言った順番でバルブをお願い。
Kid, do the valve in the order that I just told you.
ちょっと少年、聞いてるの？
Hey, kid, are you listening? Yeah, I got it. Sorry, the red and then the blue, right?
そうよ。緩めて、それから閉めるの。
Right, loosen it and then close it. I started on the blue valve in front of me. I needed to loosen it. And right then it happened again. Inside my head went all white. I felt like my consciousness was whisked off somewhere else. What was that? The image flashed in the back of my mind, and it felt like that my brain was being hammered by light. This is exciting. It would stop and start. Boxes falling and shattering to the floor. Massive amounts of water cascading down. And then I remembered losing all power to stand and crumpling right there on the spot. What that was... It can't be. That means you've played Takeshi's route before.
おい、どうしたんだ？おい。
Hey, what's the matter? Hey. Takeshi shook his shoulders, bringing me back from wherever I'd seen. Takeshi?
おう、俺だ。大丈夫か？
It's me, kid. You okay? Takeshi, trouble.
え？
Huh? If you stay here, there's going to be trouble. We have to escape now. I coughed the words out deliriously. Things are going to fall and water will flood in and someone will get really hurt.
何言ってんだ？わけわかんねえよ。
What are you talking about? You aren't making sense. If you go after you, this all goes off without a hitch. Right now, we have to escape. I felt like I was filling up with fear and panic.
落ち着けよ。落ち着けって。
Calm down, just calm
ど
down.
いて。
Out of the way. My left cheek burned like I'd been scalded.
落ち着きなさい。
Calm down. Pressing my hand on my hurting face, I stood up. The pounding of my heart finally got under
あ
control.
なたはもういいわ。
You've done enough. Saying that, Tsugumi pointed to a corner of the
あっちで
room.
おとなしくしていなさい。
There and sit quietly. What?
わからない？作業の邪魔だって言ってるの。
You don't get it? I'm saying you're in the way.
なあ、それはちょっと言い過ぎだろ。少年は疲れてるだけなんだよ。
Yeah, it's a little harsh, don't you think? He's probably tired is all.
あなたは黙ってて。
You be quiet.
いい？こういう時にこの子みたいなのがいると迷惑なの。
Listen, at times like this, people like him are a
き
liability.
っと今につまらないミスを犯すに決まっているわ。
He's going to make a costly mistake.
あなただってこんな場所で事故なんて起こされたくないでしょ。
You don't want to cause an accident here, do you?
まあ、そうだけど。
That makes sense, but...
ということだからどいてちょうだい。ここは別の人に任せるわ。
Now, you know what I mean? Get out of the way. We'll get somebody else to do this. Alright. I walked meekly to the corner. After that, the work went smoothly and finally we succeeded in getting everything back to normal. What I had seen hadn't been real. Thankfully, my predictions had been off. The repairs finished, everyone left the room, and I was in the warehouse alone. I wondered what had been going on in my mind before. While everything had all turned out alright, it bothered me to no end. Yesterday in the generator room, and then this, I wondered what was wrong with me. I was still without my memory. I couldn't even find any of the pieces. But maybe... I thought that maybe these crazy flashes that kept occurring had something to do with my lost memory. Maybe I'm closer to getting my memory back. I floated around the warehouse thinking about it. Suddenly I noticed that deeper in the corner of the room there was another door. There appeared to be another room on the other side of the wall. The door was open, as if it were inviting me in. It was a tiny, tiny room. Inside the room was dimly lit, and it smelled damp and moldy. The lights were off, and closing the door made it even darker. I could just make out the interior of the room. The walls looked cold and sturdy. The room was covered with tables and pipes. Are we going to hide a laptop in here? I imagine that the room was used for storing equipment used in the warehouse. There's like certain games that we think small rooms on the side. This is a place where a murder is going to happen. The far wall had a small square window. My mind went all foggy. Maybe I just fatigued like Takeshi said. A lot had happened over the last 3 days. I had heard a lot of thought about a lot of things. I don't know what it is, but it feels so sluggish. I sat down in the corner of the room and hugged my knees. Looking up, I saw moonlight streaming in through the window. It was warm, full light. I noticed that the walls of the room were made of concrete. As I sat with my back against the cold wall, I stared at the full moon shining in from outside the window. How'd the room just suddenly change? The moon was far away. The broad night sky was contained in that little square space. The bluish shadows of the moonlight crawled slowly across the gray walls. I looked at the moon and its shadows and let out a sigh in the darkness. I didn't want to think about anything. Pretended to not notice the freezing coldness. The room had a very small bed. The sheets were pulled tight. There wasn't a single wrinkle or even a speck of dust. Next to the bed lay a chair that with all the sharp edges rounded off. One of the chair's legs was bent off in an unnatural direction. The door was closed. It was a steel door with no knob. I felt eyes upon me from the corner of the ceiling. A sharp, intense pair of eyes boring into my body. I couldn't see the body belonging to the eyes, but a harsh laugh rang loudly in my ears. Next to a lens, a red light was on. The red light shone in on the ceiling as if it was cutting off the room's corners into darkness. The red light shone on the ceiling as if it would cut off the room's corners. I don't know what that was supposed to say. It doesn't make sense even when you try to correct it. Suddenly, I heard the sobbing voice of someone behind me. Someone was crying on the other side of the wall.
痛いよ。痛いよ。
The small voice of a girl echoed in the darkness. This is getting, really dark fast. And then I heard whack.
うるさい我慢しろ
It was the gruff voice of a man ringing out. I suspected that the girl had been hit. It sounded like she was falling on the hard concrete and was crying even harder. So are we going to say that that guy's name is Riddier? No.
痛いよ。痛いよ。助けて。誰か。
This reminds you of Doki Doki Literature Club in some ways. Like the iceberg of it, not like the surface level. I covered my ears with my hands and shook my head.
ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。
Still, the girl's cries of pain didn't stop. And if trying to escape, I crawled across the floor to the opposite corner of the room and curled up. The moon's light was bright. I covered myself with a blanket as if to hide and close my eyes. The girl just cried and cried. Gong, 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 thud. I wondered what that sound could be. I didn't want to think about it anymore. Even if I closed my eyes, even if I plugged my ears, the image of the girl struggling on the floor jumped back into my mind.
痛い。痛いよ。
The voice gradually got weaker and faded. Finally, it disappeared completely. In the silence, only a muffled sob echoed hollowly. The air in the room was so dank and stale that it felt heavy and strange on the skin.
助けて。
I heard a feeble voice.
助けて。助けてよ。
全部お前のせいだ
The sudden curses of the man drowned out the girl's voice.
これは全部お前の望んだことなんだそうだろお前は全部認めたんだこうなることは最初から分かっていたくせに
No, I didn't know.
嘘をつけならどうして逃げた
I didn't run away.
いやお前は逃げたあの子を置いて一人で逃げたんだ
Oh, so he ran away from some cruel human experiment facility and left the girl behind. Is that what it's saying? No, I promised.
その約束は果たせなかったというよりも最初から果たすつもりなんかなかったんだろお前は自らの幸せを買ったんだあの子の体と
You bought happiness for yourself. You traded it for the girl's life. No, 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 no.
約束だよ。迎えに来るまでいい子にして待ってるから。いい子にして待ってるから。ずっと待ってるから。
Is that Sara? The voice is a little bit higher than Sara's. No. I shouted and grabbed the chair lying on the floor with both hands. I took the chair as if to scare away a ghost and pounded it on the wall. Thud. Wildly, I put all of my limited strength into it over and over. The chair bent awkwardly and scraped against the dented wall. Outside the window, the moonlight shined far away. Damn you! I took the chair, and with all my strength threw it at the moon. Crash. The moon shattered like fireworks, shattered to pieces. I'll kill you. Saying this, I threw my body into the steel door. The door wouldn't budge. But I didn't give up. I had to pulverize my body. I was still going to open that door. I know there's always been 5 bangs written, but only 4 actually sounded. I hurled myself against the door again and again. The rage I felt made my blood boil and my body shake with fury. Something hot and sticky flowed from near my temple. Every time I crashed into that door, a shock of pain ran through my body. I thought that my shoulder might already be broken. A dull sound echoed in the darkness endlessly.
何やってるの？
What are you doing? Suddenly the door opened. White light poured into my eyes. Ah! Tears swelled my eyes, overflowing. Through my blurred vision, I could make out Sara. Sara stood surrounded by the bright light, her hands outstretched to me. Finally, my consciousness was soaked into the light. Powerless, I slumped to the floor, lying there. My body felt heavy like lead, and like it would sink into the floor. Next thing I knew, I was on a bed. The ceiling was so white, it was slightly blinding. It smelled of disinfectant. Was this the infirmary?
気がついた？
Are you awake now? That's you, I presume. A shadow passed above me on the bed. It was you. Deja vu. No, this was something that I had actually experienced before. 2 days before, on the first day when I woke up, you was at my side then. Where is Sara?
さあ、どこかで休んでると思うよ。
Who knows, probably resting somewhere.
今までずっとマヨンが看病してくれてたんだよ。私は今さっき交代したところ。
I just replaced her a little bit ago. She looked after you the whole time until then. I see. I took both hands out of my blanket and stared placidly at my palms. The countless wrinkles etched there, intertwining, reaching out like the branches of a tree in complicated patterns. The pinkish skin, and buried deeper, the slightly blue veins, and 5 fingers. 5 on the left, 5 on the right, and 10 in total, the same as always. My lost finger still hadn't come back to me yet. There was still the deep scar on my left thumb. Like always, I ran my pinky over the scar gently. Like always? I see, maybe this is a habit of mine. Strangely, that fact had penetrated naturally into my mind. But I wondered when, where, and how I had injured my thumb. Just maybe the scar held some kind of clue to help me remember my past. As I traced the wound with my pinky, it caused a slight stinging pain that trickled a little bit. I was finally feeling completely calmed down.
何があったの？
What happened? You poured me a cup of freshly brewed coffee, handed it to me, and sat down next to my bed. I took the coffee. After a sip, I started to explain.
なるほど。
I see.
じゃあ、あの小部屋の作りと、かつて少年がいた場所の作りとは、何らかの共通点があるってことね。
So the little room and the room that you were in before were similar somehow. Probably.
話を聞いた限りでは、それってどこかの病室みたいだよね。
Listening to that sounds like a sick room or isolation ward somewhere. Sick room?
君、昔入院したことがあるんじゃないの？
You've probably been hospitalized before somewhere.
こんなことを言ったら失礼かもしれないけど、
Maybe I shouldn't say this, but mental institution?
少年は前にも今と同じようなことを、
Kid, maybe you've had the same.
つまり記憶喪失や突然暴れ出したりといった発作を何度か繰り返してきたんじゃないかな。
Maybe you've lost your memory or had violent fits repeatedly before.
だから小さな窓が一つしかついていないような病室に監禁されてしまった。
So maybe you were detained in a sick room with a tiny window like that. You touched on the harsh reality of the situation, yet chose your words with care.
あ、もちろんそれが真実だと決まったわけじゃないよ。あくまでも可能性の話。
Of course, it's not for sure or anything, it's just one possibility.
ただ単に白チュームの中をさまよってただけ。そんな可能性もなきにしもあらずだから。
You probably had a waking dream. That is a possibility too. I was dreaming
それも起きながらにしてね。
while you were awake, though. Finally, you gave me an easy to understand explanation about the connectedness of memories and dreams. According to you, dreams and memory are clearly deeply related, but not everything you see in a dream is something experienced in reality. In other words, something had set off my hallucination, but that alone didn't mean that I really had been held in a sick room. Dreams could often appear as symbols of something else. So what I had seen earlier might have been caused by repressed memories. In any case, there was no way to be sure of anything, and I still hadn't gotten my memory back. I felt that my experience in a sick room or somewhere had an unreal as a strange small animal that might appear in a dream. Maybe it was just a dream. At some point, I had become sure of it. I felt sure that it was probably just my mind playing a nasty trick on me. You stood from beside the bed.
さてとりあえずもう一度行って確かめてみようか。
Okay, but now shall we go to check it out one more time? Go check what?
その小部屋へ事実関係を確かめに。
That little room, to set the record straight. You held out her hands to me.
もしかしたら何か記憶を取り戻すためのきっかけとなるようなものが見つかるかもしれないし。
You might find a clue to help you jog your mind to get your memory back. I thought that was unlikely. I know that was just my mind playing tricks on me. I was convinced that there was no connection between that room and my memory. Even so, I had to agree to go. If she were willing to take me, I couldn't turn her down. I took Yu's hands and got up from the bed. It only made sense, but her hands felt a lot different from Sara's. The inside of the little room was in shambles. I was amazed that I could have made this much of a mess. That is how miserable it was. I didn't think that even if you compressed all of the world's poltergeists into this itty-bitty space, that could have done much more. All I could do was stand there with my jaw on the floor as you said.
君がやったんだよ。
You did this? She was saying it as if to make sure.
で、なんだっけ。
What is it we were going to do? Huh?
確かまずこの部屋に入って少年は床に座ったんだよね。
If I remember correctly, you came into the room and sat on the floor, right? Yeah?
どの辺？
Whereabouts? About here, I think. I pointed to the area around Yu's feet.
ドアは？
What about the door? The door?
ドアは閉めたんですかって聞いてるの。
Asking whether the door was shut or not. I shut it, I think. After the door shut, I wanted to escape and started throwing myself against the door. I closed the door as I answered. Just like before, the room was thrown into darkness. The once The only source of light was the moonlight pouring through the little window. What moonlight?
ちょっとこれじゃ何にも見えないじゃない。
I can't see anything like this. You grasped around in the dark with her hands. I could see everything perfectly.
電気はスイッチはどこ？
Where's the light switch? You walked along the wall looking for the switch, sometimes tripping on plastic boxes scattered on the floor. Yu's body gave off a faint light. Every time she took a step, a faint streak-like image followed her. It was like the flame of a candle flickering in a thick mist. Light shone down from the ceiling.
今時こんな石器時代のインターフェースを使ってるとはね。
Geez, can you believe they're still using electronic fossils like this these days? Are you talking about incandescent bulbs in 2002? Or this taking place in 2017 or actually 2034 maybe? You muttered this as she stared at the light switch.
こういうお客様に見えないところにこそお金って使うべきなんじゃないの？
They should spend money on places like this even if the customers won't see them.
こんなところで手を抜いてるからきっと事故だって。
It's because they cut corners in places like this that they get accidents.
まあそんなことはどうでもいいや。
But who cares about that? You whipped around and scoured the room, she said.
ところで
By the way,
窓はどこ？
where's the window? There wasn't a single window in the whole room. Thinking about it, it made sense. Nobody would fork over the cash for a little window with special pressure-resistant glass in a little storage room stuck on the side of a warehouse. I looked around for moonlight that had been there until a second ago. There was no moon. I wondered if it was because I had shattered it. But that wasn't it. Well, I see like an opened, panel. That's what I see. What I had mistaken for a window was just a little square hole.
これが窓？
Is this the window?
これが窓に見えたっていうの？
Are you saying you thought this was a window? You followed my eyes and went and stood in front of the square hole. I went over beside her and looked up at the hole. The hole was bordered by a steel frame. It was about the same size as a coin locker. It was about 20 inches on each side. There was a door on the hole. It might have been broken, but I might have broken it, but the door was bent completely and hung loose at a hinge on the side of the hole. The hole was more than an empty space. A bunch of colored wiring, something like an integrated circuit board, some kind of plug, and something like a small lever were all packed into the hole. I don't think they mean integrated circuit board. It's just circuit board. Integrated circuit means that the circuit's made on one piece of silicon. It means it's a chip. So a board implies that it's discrete components that are connected by traces on like composite board. They mean different things. So usually a board contains a discrete circuit. An integrated circuit is usually packaged in like a black box or like under an IHS, or if it's a GPU, like just bare die. What is this? I had no idea what it was.
多分インバータユニットかなんかだと思うけど。
It's probably an inverter unit or something. Inverter unit?
発電室から送られてくる AC の電気を DC に変換し、
Change the AC power that comes from the generator into DC. Well, I wouldn't call that an inverter unit. I would call that a rectifier.
その電流をこの格納庫で使われる電気器具の規格に合った周波数に変換する装置。
It's a mechanism for changing electrical current into one that the tools in the warehouse can use.
またはその制御部分、保護部分を指す。
That means this device controls those functions. I see. Everything she was saying was like gibberish to me, but I nodded.
正確に言うと、だったかな。
Or to be more precise, it was anyway. Huh?
インバータユニットだった。
That was the inverter unit.
もう壊れちゃってるみたいだから、これ
It looks broken now.
誰がやったのか知らないけどね。
I have no idea who broke it, but you said it straight-faced and without looking at me. I reached out to touch the inverter unit thing. It was a little bit warm. Or maybe I had it backwards. Maybe I knew that it was warm because I touched it. So I had wanted to make sure by touching it. In the end, we really didn't learn anything. No, but but it did seem like something was trying to move, at least to me. It felt like someone inside me was tossing and turning in his sleep. We finally gathered again in the conference room. Even though I had just embarrassed myself in front of everyone, they all acted as if nothing had happened. We were killing time. I recognized that line. Of course, it was kind of an indirect thank you for her looking after me twice and worrying about my lost memory. Okay.
さてと、それじゃあ始めますか。
Then we just plug it in. Yeah, Takeshi shows up and just plugs it in.
そんなに大声出したらあの3人に聞こえるわよ。
Just then someone else, Tsugumi, she clicked her tongue in an irritated way, turned to leave the room. The door, again, this time it was Sara. This might be a hint about the theft. It could have been my imagination, but she looked kind of angry about something. Sara stood her ground, blocking the exit that Tsugumi couldn't leave. Get out of the way. Quit running away and answer. I said get out of the way. I said give me an answer. It's like the Tatarak. Give me the answer. It seemed like the two of them were fighting, but I wonder why. I couldn't think of any reason for the two of them would want to fight. If you keep shouting, the three of them will hear.
別に構わないでしょ。
I don't care.
おい、二人ともどうしたんだよ。
Hey, you two, what's up? Takeshi asked this as he approached them.
それはこっちが聞きたいわね。
That's what I want to know. She's faking it. Tsugumi said this mixed with a sigh. And then she gave Takeshi the evil eye.
あなたたち、一体何を企んでいるの？
Planning anyway.
何をって。それこそなんだよ。意味わかんねえこと言うなよ。
What are you planning? Stop with the nonsense already.
どうしたのマヨ。
Hey, Mayo, what happened? You said it as if to calm Sara's nerves. By the way, I think it will let me skip this. I'm just reading it just as a review. She still looked pretty riled up. She was staring at Tsugumi bitterly. Tsugumi? Huh? For an instant, I thought that Tsugumi drew up her face up sadly. Right.
さあ、どきなさい。
Now get out of my way. As she turned around, Tsugumi tried to push Sara out of the way. Sara resisted.
そうやってあの人からも逃げたんだ。
So what, did you run away from him the same as you are trying to run away from me now? Sara said that as the two of them wrestled. Tsugumi stopped moving.
やっぱりそうなんだ。
So you did. Who is him? Takeshi? Sara crossed her arms tightly.
最低。
You suck.
最低だこの人でなし。
You're inhuman. Tsugumi lifted her upright hand as if to hit Sara, but Takeshi grabbed her hand.
おい、落ち着けって。
Hey, calm down. Sara didn't miss her chance. Slap. Sara, open palmed, echoed on Tsugumi's cheek. You little... The raging Tsugumi threw off Takeshi and stole from Sara whatever it was she was holding. She went to throw whatever it was she had against the wall. But she stopped an instant before.
やめろ。
Stop. Takeshi went to grab her arm. Tsugumi's arm went slack and something slipped to the floor. It clattered loudly. Something glittered as it bounced. It looked like a pendant. Sara scooped up the pendant as if she were picking up a fragile piece of ice. Sara's back quivered tensely. Sara looked down, dropping her head. And she squeezed her fist around the
マヨ
pendant. Mayo? You said it softly, but Sara didn't appear to hear. Sara lifted her face. Biting her lip, she glared at Tsugumi. Both her eyes were welling up with tears. Tsugumi stared coldly at Sara as if looking down at her from far above. Sara withstood the glare and stared back at Tsugumi in rage. She continued to resist silently, trying not to shed tears, not to sob. The scene was just like Just like, it was just like...
全部お前のせいだ。
You? A surge of hate raced through me. Who the hell do you think you are, you good for nothing? I screamed and grabbed Tsugumi by the collar.
何やってんの、やめなさい。
What are you doing? Stop it! You grabbed me from behind and pulled me away from Tsugumi. Let go, I said let go of me. I continued to struggle violently. I was like a desperate beast, devoid of all reason. Unfortunately, I think Tsugumi wasn't the person. Like, Tsugumi didn't do anything wrong. It's just that, like, the person that was wrong done to was Sara. And so it's kind of projecting, right? And so, like, Tsugumi's kind of taking the place of the abusive man. With my fangs bared and a thirst for blood. Oh, after playing Takeshi's route, that has an interesting element to it. What was left to my mind ceased to be me. Or everyone wants to suck Tsugumi's blood. I walked around Lemu. After what had happened, I didn't want to be around you or Takeshi. But I was too worked up to just stick around in one place. I thought I would pick the place they were least likely to come and wander around it. Wonder what that fit of rage had been about. Why had I gotten so mad? Why? Tsugumi had stared coldly down at Sara, and Sara had desperately battled to stand her ground. What were the emotions that had welled up within me in that instant? I felt like I was on the verge of figuring it out. Like my lost memory had been concealed by a thick fog. But now it was only an inch away, right there, covered by a thin sheet. But no matter how thin it was, I still couldn't remove it. The more I thought about it, the further away into the fog my memory seemed to recede. I wondered what I could have had in my past. Wonder what I could have had in my past. I continued to wander Lemu without understanding anything. Suddenly I felt like I heard someone's voice in a room, so I entered it. In a sprawling night sky were a number of orb-shaped planets. And in between the planets there was a huge, soft-looking whale floating. It was the Cosmic Whale Room. Of course, the whale and the starry sky were all merely theme park attractions. I thought that wide open space and the attractions would help to ease my ragged nerves. Even though it was fake, the expansive space eased my tense mind and nerves, frazzled from being cooped up for so long. But I still had no memory. I realized again just how stressed the situation had made me without my even noticing. For a while I just relaxed, looking at the scenery. What? Something moved slightly on top of the whale. I squinted, peering at it. Sara? I glanced quickly at the planet next to the whale and headed for the stairs leading to it. I walked out to the edge of the whale's nose and sat down next to Sara. I thought that normally whales and dolphins have their blowholes or nostrils near the middle of their head, so it wasn't probably accurate to say its nose. We looked at the countless stars sparkling overhead. It seemed as if we could reach the stars in the sky. If I had stood up, I could have probably actually touched a star, because it was all a facade of fake stars projected onto the ceiling. Speaking of fake, the whale was too. I didn't know what kind of cutting-edge technology they used, but the skin on the whale felt like it could have been real. And then again, I didn't suppose I had ever actually touched a real whale. Maybe I was just working from some image I had of what whale skin would feel like. Very rubbery. Not having a memory was mysterious in a way. Normal and abnormal, common sense and nonsense were all dictated by memory. For example, if a sea otter suddenly appeared right in front of me and said, "I'm your father," then, well, I probably wouldn't believe him. Gee, spoilers. Because in this life I had never met a cross between a sea otter and a person. But with no memory, there was no way for me to know for sure if I had never met a sea otter person. Thinking of it that way, it was amazing to me that I could be so logical. I imagined that my memories were stored away in a drawer in my brain somewhere, and I was adding to the drawers even now. Only the number of drawers that I could open was limited. I had no idea where the drawers from before May 1st were packed away. This probably would remind you of Ava's demon. Still, there is someone that was opening my drawers, and he or she was judging whether what was happening was normal or abnormal, common sense or nonsense. Rather that entity was telling me I was a safe without a key. The treasure in the safe didn't belong to me. Incidentally, it wasn't just the texture of the whale skin that made it feel so lifelike. The whale was alive. At least it seemed that way to me. The whale swimming in the starry sky. The repetitive whale-like motion on its back as it swam through the sky. His soft mouth opened and closed, and even puffed out up from time to time. Even about every 3 minutes, he blew out a warm breath through his blowhole. A seawater mist of spray would scatter around the area. Sitting at the tip of his nose, Sara and I bobbed up and down, in time with his movements. Still the whale undulated so slowly that we could let go with our hands and still feel safe. It was like a cradle rocking back and forth. On the back of the whale, we sailed through the cosmos. We were on our way to planet Kukiki. Sara slowly took something out of her pocket and showed it to me. It was an old-style oil lighter. She lit it. The flickering of flame made Sora's face look red. I wondered why she was carrying around a lighter. I couldn't picture her as the type that would smoke. I thought I might ask her. But as I did, Sara opened her other hand. In it was the pendant from before. A thin chain was wrapped around her index finger. The pendant swayed in her hand. Sara brought the flame closer to the pendant and stared at it spacily. Her expression relaxed. It was as if Sara was mesmerized by something. A mirror was embedded in the pendant. The flame of the lighter reflected brightly in the mirror. I wondered if Sara might be staring at her reflection and admiring herself. The idea made me laugh without thinking.
何がおかしいの？
Huh? Is something funny? I mean, it looks like you're sitting there grinning at yourself.
違うよ。
No, I'm not. I guess you've got a bit of a narcissistic side?
だから違うって。
I said I'm not. With that, Sara snapped the lighter shut. That moment, I noticed something odd. It had looked like the flame of the lighter in the mirror had split into 2 images. I thought that maybe there was a crack in the mirror. Hey, can I see that pendant for a second?
いいけど、
Sure.
落とさないでよ。
Don't drop it. The whale's body continued to move up and down. I figured that was what Sara meant. I won't. Saying that, I took the pendant from Sara. I wrapped the chain around my finger and brought it close to my face. As I suspected, the mirror was cracked. It wasn't just broken, a piece of it was missing. I touched the area that was missing. I thought it had probably broken from shock of Tsugumi dropping it. The missing fragment might still be lying around in that room. Feeling the sharp contours of where the missing piece belongs made me sad. I took my finger from the mirror and held my palm out towards Sara. Without saying anything, Sara plunked the lighter down on the palm of my hand. Fits. It sparkled and lit. Oh. I had spoken without thinking. The flame appeared in the mirror, dimly lit in 3 dimensions. This is a hologram pendant.
え？
Huh?
そうだけど。
Yes, but... The mirror showed a person. It looks kind of like Takeshi. It was basically a headshot. From the shoulders on up, the head and facial expressions were extremely clear. I imagined it was made using a holo machine. Holo machines were machines that would burn a hologram into pendants or keychains or any other object that a person wanted. In Lamu, there was even a number of these machines. I remembered that much. It was the same as before. If there were something to trigger my memory, I could recall some things. I thought that if I could remember these kinds of things, why not? But I shoved that thought aside and focused again on the image in the pendant. Since it was a hologram, it also had depth. Changing the angle of the mirror changed the angle of his face. It was an image of a man I didn't know. Okay, the hair isn't quite like Takeshi's, that's true. I suspected it was an image that was closed away in any of those inaccessible drawers of my memory. I had no memory of the face. Who is this? Huh? Is this your boyfriend? Sara remained quiet. Her expression was frozen solid. It's your boyfriend, isn't it? I asked her again. but there was not even a glimmer of a hidden romance in her face. Any girl looking at her boyfriend's picture would probably show a smile, especially stuck in the middle of the ocean. Hey, he looks pretty cool. I said it in a teasing way. Actually, he was so good looking, it was enough to make you sick. I thought he might chirp out, "Oh honey, I hope you are well, I miss you." But there was one thing that bothered me. His image was all in one color. So there was a kind of retro trend going on, and some people did go for the sepia or monochrome holograms. So it didn't really seem all that outlandish. How long have you been dating? I put out the lighter, set it on the pennant, and held it out to Sara. She didn't take them. She was still frozen stiff. It looked like she was forgetting to breathe. Hey, Sara, Sara. Hello, Sara. I grasped the pennant that she hadn't taken and took Sara's shoulders. Sara didn't even blink. And then, whoosh, the whale exhaled. Kya. Sara leaped up and smashed into me, leveling me like with a powerful tackle. Who knows, she might have been that she was so surprised she just wanted something to grab onto. Still, her full weight came barreling into me. With that, I went down and she crumpled with me. We slid down and off the whale's smooth skin. The stars appeared to gain distance. And then, what they say about space being weightless, well, that seemed a lie. Before I had time to think anything else, my body made contact with the hard floor. A fine mist descended down on my skyward face. Sara was on top of me, unmoving. I could hear her breathing near my ear.
着陸成功だね。
Safe landing, huh? Sara continued talking as she lifted up her face and peered into my face.
ようこそクイクイ星。
Welcome to Planet Kiki. I ended up failing to give the pendant back. I thought I would look for the missing piece of the hologram and had an idea of where it might be. It was the site of Tsugumi and Sara's fight the day before. The fragment should be around the room somewhere. I wanted to find the piece and put it back in the pendant. I thought if I could do it, Sara would jump with joy. As I imagined her happy face, I crawled around on my knees, searching from room corner to corner. That's
何
strange.
がおかしいんだ？
What's strange? Surprised, I looked up and there was Takeshi.
なんか探してるのか？
Are you looking for something? Yeah, actually. I explained the situation and showed Takeshi the broken pendant.
なるほどね。確かに割れてるな。
See, well, you're right about it being broken. Yup. If you don't mind, could you help me look?
ああ、探してやることにやぶさかではないんだが、
Oh, that sounds like a plan.
その前に一つだけ聞いてもいいかな。
Can I ask you something first? What?
お前の言ってたその男の画像ってのは一体どこに映ってるんだ？
That image of the guy you were talking about, where is it? Where? It's right here. I peered into the mirror. What? He's gone. Takeshi looked at me skeptically. But it was here yesterday, I swear. I wonder why.
まあいいさ。
It's no big deal.
サラの彼氏がどんな男だろうと俺には興味なんかないし。
I don't really care what kind of guy Sara would date anyway.
いや、訂正。
No, I take it back.
少しは興味があったりなんかしたりもするのだけれどもだ。
I might be just a little bit interested.
いずれにせよ、ペンダントが欠けてしまったことに変わりはないわけだし。
I suppose it doesn't matter now that the pendant's broke.
そしてそのペンダントがサラの大事にしているものであることも事実であるし。
And since the pendant is something that is important to Sara,
よって俺はお前に協力してかけらを探してやることにする。
I'll help you look for the broken piece. Thanks.
負けるなよ、少年。
First to find it wins, kid. Huh? Takeshi thumped my back and set about crawling on the floor searching.
で、謝礼はいくらぐらいもらえるのかな？
And how much is the reward for this anyway? Reward?
俺がかけらを見つけた場合の謝礼だよ。
How much am I gonna get if I find the piece? What, are you going to blackmail Sara?
なんでだよ。
What are you talking about?
払うのはサラじゃなくてお前だろうが。
You're gonna pay me, not Sara. Why?
いい、この子な、しらばっくれてもダメだぞい。
Don't play innocent with me, champ. What?
全部お前の手柄にするつもりなんだろ？
You don't think I'd let you take all the credit, do you? Takeshi wriggled toward me like a snake. He stopped in front of me.
俺が見つけても自分が見つけたことにするんだべ。
If I find it, I bet you're playing to say you did. I wouldn't.
やい、サラ。
Well, this is kind of, yeah, it's the thing that came up in Ever17, the whole idea of someone helping you do something and then you claim you did it yourself. Oh, hi, my lady, Sara.
なんでございますの少年さん。
Hi, kid, what is it?
これを受け取れ、こんちき証明。
Yours, my lady.
まあ、これは私が昨日お貸ししたペンダントでございますわ。あら、欠けてたところが治ってるでございますわ。
Well, if it isn't the pennant I lent you yesterday, oh joy, it is fixed, oh happy day. Yes, how much I hate Takeshi.
おう、あったりめよ。てめえのために一生懸命探してやったんだ。
How did I slave searching the floor far and wide all of yesterday?
少年さん、お一人でお探しになってくださったのでございますの？
Was that alone that you searched, Brave Youth?
しゃあなくせ、何言いやがる。俺一人で探したに決まってらーな。
Do you jest? Of course, I went on my quest for the missing piece alone.
まあ、素敵。少年さん、ありがとうでございますわ。
Wow, kid, you're amazing.
とまあ、こういう展開に持っていこうとしているわけだ。
So I know exactly what you're planning.
かー、このまさかきが。
You're fully yourself. Whatever. Anyway, that wasn't a very good impersonation of me or Sara.
いちいち細かいこと気にすんなって。
Don't be so picky about the details.
俺はお前のことを応援してやってんだぞ。
I'm rooting for you, okay, kid? I told you, it isn't like that.
いいっていいって。
I said it's okay.
俺何気にそういうの好きだからさ。
I like doing this kind of thing. What do you mean by this?
なんつうのかな。いわば愛のキューピッド役。
I mean, well, you know, being a Cupid, a matchmaker. Cupid doesn't ask for money.
確かに。
I suppose that's true.
じゃあ、後で俺の手伝いをするってのはどうだ？
And how about you help me in return later? Help?
発電機の調子が悪いみたいなんだ。
It seems like the generator needs looking at.
まあ大したことはないんだけど、一応メンテナンスしとかなくちゃいけないから。
It's no big deal, just some maintenance that's gotta be done.
で、空に命令されたから。
It's an order from Sora. In that case, I'll do it even if I didn't owe you anything.
お、サンキューな。
Thanks. In the end, we didn't find the missing piece. Takeshi and I were just standing around covered in dust. The door opened and Sara came in.
あ、いたいた。
Oh, there you are.
ペンダント。確か少年に預けっぱなしだったよね。
I think I forgot to get the pendant back from you. Oh, yeah. All I could do was hand her back the fractured pendant. First, only then, like Sara was seeing it for the first time, that she noticed that we were filthy.
ところで、こんなとこで何やってんの？
What are you guys doing here anyway? I couldn't think of anything to say. Takeshi and I exchanged glances.
実は、かけらを探してたんだ。
Actually, we were looking for the missing piece.
かけら？何それ？
Piece, what's that?
そのペンダントの欠けた部分だよ。
The piece that broke off the pendant.
直してやろうと思ってさ。
I thought we'd try to fix it for you.
そんなこと別にいいのに。
Oh, don't worry about that. Sara looked kind of embarrassed. What? What had happened? All of a sudden, Takeshi had made it look like it was all his bright idea. I thought he was going to let me take the credit.
それに、こんなとこじゃかけらは絶対見つからないと思うよ。
Besides, I'm pretty sure you're not going to find the piece here. Why not?
だってこのペンダント、最初からかけてたんだもん。
Because this pendant was cracked from the start.
最初から？
From the start?
うん。
Yep.
物心ついた時から、なぜかこのペンダントを持ってて。
I don't know why, but I've had this pendant as long as I can remember.
この部分が割れたのは、もうずっと昔のことなの。
And this piece broke off a long time ago. Oh, well, that means
見つからないわけだ。
we didn't have a chance of finding it.
はあ、
Takeshi's sigh echoed throughout the infirmary. After lunch, Takeshi gave me more information about the generator problem. He said that the part we had repaired before was malfunctioning and that the machine wasn't functioning in a stable manner. Takeshi told me when to meet him to fix it. Then he said we had something to do and took off. He had something to do and took off. I didn't have anything to do until our meeting time, so I walked the corridors alone. Suddenly, I noticed a faint voice. It sounded like a song, but I wondered who it could be. Well, let me skip this. I turned towards the direction of the voice, but there was no one there, and the voice had stopped. But I was sure that the voice had come from around here. I thought maybe. I peeked into the compression chamber from the shadows and saw Sara. Sara was sitting in front of the thick window and staring at her pennant. I thought I might call out to her. She seemed to be focused on something. It looked like she was starting to recite a song.
長湯店を石 夢の中よりま今宵柳井つく早く今夏と待ち眠りたもぬ眠りたも母
It auto plays, but for some reason, there was a bunch of delays and the game would go unresponsive. I don't know why that's happening. It's not a hardware issue. Anyway, she finished singing. A tear streaked down Sara's face. It didn't seem like a good time to call out to her, so I went to leave. Then suddenly, in front of my eyes, another scene fused together with the one I was witnessing. The girl was sitting on the bed, crying in the same way. She was stifling her sobs to keep others from worrying. But who? Who was this? What could this all mean? What was the matter with me?
誰
Who's there? With her voice, the image instantly vanished. Still confused by what I had just seen, I answered. It's me, Sara. Sorry, I wanted to say something, but it didn't seem right. Sara wiped away her tears as if hiding them.
何が
What do you mean? She seemed very upbeat. She seemed her upbeat self again. I faced her and sat down. That song, you sang it before. In front of the generator room, I think.
記憶力いいんだね
Hey, your memory is fine.
そんなつまらないことまで覚えてるから突然記憶喪失になっちゃったりするんだよ
Maybe you lost your memory because you packed your head with so many useless little things like that. Sara laughed as she said this. Is that song a lullaby or something?
うん聞いたことない
Yeah, you've never heard of it? I shook my head. I didn't recall hearing it before.
本当に知らない
Really? You don't know it? I pretended to think about it. Even if I did think on it, I didn't imagine I'd remember it.
そっかそうだよね
I see. Sara said it sadly and glanced down at the pennant hanging from the middle finger of her left hand. Huh. There was something I wanted to ask you. I told her about how the image of the man in the hologram pennant had disappeared. I was sure the image was there yesterday.
ああそれはここが室内だからだよ
That's because we're indoors. Huh, what do you mean? Yesterday when we looked at it, we were in the mood.
違うよあそこは室内じゃないんだもん
No, that's not inside.
あそこは宇宙空間でしょ
It's a part of space, right?
というのは冗談で
I'm just kidding.
種明かしをするとこういうこと
Here's how it works. With that, Sara took the lighter from her pocket. She put the lighter's flame close to the pennant. Oh, the man in the hologram floating there the same as the day before. The image wasn't as clear as before. I thought that was probably the bad light. The room with the whale was mostly dark. I figured that is why he wasn't as clear. So you have to hold the lighter flame next to it to see it. I asked to make sure. Yep.
ライターの炎か太陽の光か
It's got to be either the lighter or sunlight. Sunlight?
そう どういう仕組みになってるのかは知らないけど、蛍光灯の光じゃ見えないんだ。不思議だよね。
Yeah, I know it, and I don't really know how it works, but you can't see it under the fluorescent lights. Weird, huh? That's when I understood why Sara always carried the lighter. It was to look at the hologram. Sara put out the flame, and lit it and put it out, and lit it and put it out. She stared absently at the image of the man appearing and disappearing.
私、両親がいないの。
Both of my parents are gone. Sara said this out of the blue.
私が小さい頃亡くなったんだって。
They died when I was little.
物心ついた時にはもうパパもママもいなかった。
My mom and dad weren't around when I was a kid.
それが当たり前のことなんだと思ってた。しばらくの間は。
For a while, I thought it was that way for everybody. Really? I didn't know how to answer. I couldn't think of a decent reply.
このペンダントが唯一の形見なんだ。
This pendant is the only keepsake I have. So that man is...
多分パパだと思う。
I think it's probably my father.
わからないけど、私はそう思ってるの。
I don't know for sure, but that is what I think. After a long silence, I said, "It's the same for me."
え？
Huh? I've forgotten everything. So I don't remember anything about my mom or dad. If I bumped into them on the street, I would never know it. Even if I get out of here in one piece, I don't have anywhere to call home. So I'm in the same situation. It's the same as not having any parents. Well, I should get going.
Huh?
I've got to go help Takeshi. The generator needs some fixing. I stood up. As I was about to leave, I thought of something. Hey, would you mind lending me that lighter and pendant again? Ouch, Takeshi, that hurts.
これぐらい我慢しろよ。男の子だろ？
You can take that, you're a man after all. Takeshi grinned sadistically as he patted my right arm, which was supported by a cast. The cast was made of a specially formulated plastic. It was lighter than I had expected and not too cumbersome. Takeshi had put the cast on me with instructions from Sora. Sora had said she had something else to do and left the work to Takeshi.
いやー、しかしすごかったな、あのダイビングは。迫力十分って感じで。
Well, that dive you took was really something else. Pretty impressive stuff. Be quiet, I told you my leg slipped. You're the one who forced the tools on me.
人聞きの悪いこと言うなよ。俺は工具を持ってこいなんて一言も言ってないぜ。
Don't try to pin this on me. I never said bring the tools along. You're the one that jumped off without anything.
どうせまた修理することになれば必要なんだ。置いてくつもりだったんだけどな。
If we have to make repairs again, then we'll need the tools, so I left them there. Takeshi was making excuses. Okay, fine. Say it was all my stupid fault. I looked at the cast wrapped around my right arm. While we were repairing the generator, I had lost my balance holding the heavy toolbox and fallen off the machine.
まあそう落ち込むなよ。空によれば綺麗に折れてるから治りも早いそうじゃないか。
But don't get down about it. Sora said it's a clean break, so you'll be back in business in no time. Easy for you to say.
さてと。
Alright, now it's time. Takeshi took a transparent object that could easily be mistaken for a gun at a glance. It was an injection syringe and cartridge filled with a cocktail of antibiotics, fever medicine, painkillers, and vitamins.
ほれ、腕出せ。
Give me your arm. Takeshi put the needle against my left arm and pushed it in.
よし、これで終わりだ。
Alright, that should do it. Thanks, Takeshi.
骨折の影響で熱が出るかもしれないぜ。まあ薬は打っといたけどな。
The break might cause a fever, at least you've got some medicine in you.
どっちにしろ薬の影響で眠くなるだろうし、まあしばらくおとなしくしとけや。
Either way, the medicine ought to make you drowsy, so take it easy. Alright.
じゃあ俺はもう行くからな。
I would definitely not take that. Well, I best get going. Hold on a second.
あ、なんだ？
What is it? There's something I want you to see.
なんだよ。
What? This. I held Sora's pendant out to Takeshi.
なんだ、またこれかよ。
Not that again. Yeah, I want you to look at it again.
めんどくせえな。
It can be a pain, you know. Even so, Takeshi took the pendant as he said this. This time I thought he'd be able to see it as well. I was going to tell him that it was a picture of Sara's boyfriend. Takeshi scrutinized the pendant. He turned it over, then sideways, and then...
なんだ、やっぱり何にも見えないじゃないか。
There's nothing to see here. Huh? There has to be. Oh, I forgot. I took the lighter out, lit it, and held it to the pennant. I showed the light on the pennant. How's that?
お前、からかってんのか？
Are you screwing with me? Huh?
なんでライターごときで見えるようになんだよ。
What are you looking at using a lighter to look at it for? Because that's how you see it.
はあ？
Huh? Look hard, there should be a man's face there.
ああ、ほんとだほんとだ。
Oh, you're right, there is.
あ、よく見りゃかっこいい男の顔が。
And he's not a bad looking guy. See, that's Sara's boyfriend.
ほほう、そいつはめでてえや。
Right.
俺はいつからサラと付き合うようになったんだ？
I wonder when I started going out with Sara.
それとも、これは未来を映す不思議な鏡か？
I don't know, this is some miracle mirror that shows the future? Huh? What are you talking about?
この鏡には、俺以外の男の顔は映ってないよ。
The only face showing in this mirror is mine. That's what I thought at first, too.
イコール、俺がサラの彼氏ってこと。
That means I must. Oh. But no. Oh, he's. Okay. Idiot, there's no way you and Sara would get together.
お前が言ったんだろうが。
You said it, not me.
ここに映ってるのがサラの彼氏なんだろ？
You said the guy in here was Sara's boyfriend, right? I'm not talking about your ugly reflection. I'm talking about the holographic image.
だから、ホログラム画像なんかどこにも浮かび上がってねえっつってんだろうがよ、バーカ！
And I'm saying that there isn't a hologram in here. Baka! Look again.
見てるよ。目ひんむいて見てるよ。ほら、ギロギロギロン、ギロギロン。
I am looking. I am staring. Look at my eyes. They're wide open. I looked over at Takeshi's shoulder and peered into the pennant. Look, it's right there. I pointed to the hologram of the man.
それは俺だろ？
That's me, right? Oh, you're behind it. The guy inside the mirror is you. The guy floating in front is who I mean.
浮かんでるやつなんかいねえって。
There's no floating guy anywhere.
なんか言わせりゃ気が済むんじゃボケ。
How many times are you going to make me say it? There's nothing there. You came as we were repeating this sad exchange.
何騒いでんの？メンテナンス終わったんかい？
What are you all worked up about? You two finished fixing the generator? You come talk some sense into this idiot for me.
それはこっちのセリフじゃい。
That's my line.
何があったわけ？
What happened? I showed you the hologram pennant, and I used the lighter.
そこに映ってんのが未来のサラの旦那なんだとよ。
He says the face inside there is Sara's future man. I didn't say that, you're twisting my words.
翔平、そうなの？
Oh, is that so?
ってことはマヨ、いずれ性転換手術でもするのかおい。
Because either that girl is going to need a sex change
あ
operation,
るいは私が。いやー、
or I will...
そんなの嫌。
Yuck, not for me. Huh?
っていうかこれ、ただの鏡じゃん。
I mean, this is just an ordinary mirror.
ホログラムでもなんでもないと思うんだけど。
I don't think there's a hologram or anything in there. It's a hologram, there's a guy's face in there. I wondered how many times I would have to shout out the same line. Look, he's right there, right here, right here. Now I looked over your shoulder and pointed to the pennant.
大丈夫少年。また例の発作？
Hey kid, are you alright? Are you having another fit? You really truly can't see it? Really?
ああ。
That's right. You can't see the man's face. You and Takeshi looked at each other. They couldn't see it. Neither you nor Takeshi could. I wondered why in the world not. I have no idea either. Moonlight shone into the sick room. I heard a voice crying somewhere. The muffled voice kept sniveling and sobbing again and again. Who was it? Who are you? I didn't know that was what I was escaping from.
待ってる。待ってるからね。
Waiting for what? What was I waiting for me? And where in the world was that? This was just then the scene dissolved away.
お前は逃げたんだ。あの子を置いて一人で逃げたんだ。
This kept repeating itself in my head. Wait, tell me. I didn't know what I had run from or to where. What was I? Gradually the scenery around me began to change into eerie colors. I woke up and almost leaped out of the bed. I was in the infirmary. My body was drenched in sweat. Ouch. Sharp pain shot through my right arm. I looked at my right arm and stared confused at the cast on my arm. I didn't know why. Then I remembered I had broken my arm when I was resting. I was still foggy from the drugs. A string of hazy memories came back to me. I remembered the scary dream I had. I thought it was from the fever and medicine. I was sure of it. That's why I had such bizarre dreams. I shook my head and tried to get a better grip of my consciousness. I looked at the clock on the wall. It was a bit past 2 in the morning. Normally, it would be the middle of the night, but somehow I didn't feel like that at all. I tried to remember how long we had been trapped here. I said the extended amount of time in here, where the cycles of day and night were meaningless, really played with one's sense of time. I sat up, taking care to watch out for my broken arm. Clank. Sara's pendant was by my left hand. It looked like I had fallen asleep with it clasped in my hand. I've got to return this. I slipped off the bed. My right arm felt sickly feverish, but because the medicine Takeshi had injected was probably still working, it didn't hurt much. But I still was unable to move it normally. Next to the pillow was a sling for me to hang my arm. I wondered if Takeshi had left it, or maybe you. Either way, I couldn't just let my hurt arm swing back and forth as I walked. I put it on. I thought about where Sara might be. I figured she might be asleep. I wondered where she always slept. An image of Sara atop the whale floated into my mind. I decided to try there first. Well, we know what room is associated with Sara. If she weren't there, then I'd try somewhere else. Still a bit groggy, I left the infirmary. I went down the elevator and headed for the cosmic whale. I heard the sound of splashing. It wasn't from the generator room. It sounded like it came from the pipe room. I wonder what that was. I wonder what that is. Is it Tsugumi? When I entered the room. Nope, it's just Sara. Sara? The moment I saw what was happening, I jumped into the water. After I jumped, I remembered that my arm was broken, but it was too late. I swam towards Sara, doing the best I could with my arm. Sara, grab hold.
何を少年
Huh, kid, what are you doing? Just grab hold of me. I tried to grab Sara, but she swam away from me.
ちょっとほっといてよ
Just leave me alone. Huh, wait, Sara?
だから近づかないでってばスケベ
I said stay away from me, pervert. Pervert, what? Then I noticed something a little bit strange. As I stretched my legs, I could just touch the floor. Sara?
何よ
What? Oh, what are you doing?
見ての通りだよ
That's what it looks like. I don't know what it looks like. That's why I asked.
だから泳ぎの練習
I'm practicing swimming. Practicing swimming?
そうだから見ての通りだって
Yeah, just what it looks like. As if I would know. Flailing around like that? Alone, you would think you were drowning. That was the comeback I launched in my mind, but what came out of my mouth was, oh, I see, well, geez. Only that stupid line.
まあ少年には見られちゃったから言うけど
Well, since you've seen me, I'll tell you, I guess.
実はさ私泳げないんだよね
I actually don't know how to swim. As she said this, Sara continued flapping around madly in the water as if she were sinking.
どうせ暇でやることもないし更衣室で水着を見つけたのね
I thought we have all this time, and I found a swimsuit in the changing room. Distracted, I hadn't noticed. But when she told me I did for the first time, Sara was decked out like a Lamu employee in a one-piece swimsuit. I wondered why I hadn't noticed. I blushed with embarrassment. But still, watching Sara's movements, it would have been more of a stretch to imagine her swimming than drowning. Besides, the medicine was still affecting me. I was making all kinds of excuses. But Sara didn't notice my confusion and kept at
だ
it.
から今のうちに少しでも練習しとこうと思ったわけ
So I thought I would try to get in a little swim practice.
ここなら水もそんなに冷たくないし
I mean, the water here isn't all that cold. Now that she mentioned it, I realized the water was warmer than in the corridors. I imagine the heat from the pipes had warmed it.
だから一人で泳ぎの練習してたの
So I was practicing swimming all alone. I thought you were a ninja. Ninja can...
拙者泳ぎだけは苦手でござって
Well, swimming is the only skill I'm not good at. I see.
少年殿にだけ告白いたすが、
Just between you and me.
残念ながら泳ぎが苦手なため免許皆伝だけは受けられなかったでござるよ。
Unfortunately, my swimming was so bad that I wasn't promoted to a master. Is that right? So now that Sara can't swim. Takeshi and Tsugumi can. What?
少年殿はあんな冗談を真に受けておられたか。にんにん。
Kid, you take everything so seriously. Oh, so that was a joke?
当たり前でしょ。何よ忍者って。
Sure, it was me, a ninja. But
でも泳げないのは本当だよ。
but it's true that I can't swim.
なんかさ、こんな状況で泳げないのって不安でしょ。
Being in the situation and not being able to swim, it makes me nervous.
多分みんなの中で泳げないのって私だけだと思うんだよね。
I think I'm probably the only one here who can't swim. Depends on if the kid can swim. In which case, yeah, you likely are. I mean, Sora doesn't need to swim. Like, I guess she can't swim, but like in a different sense.
少年も泳げるでしょ。
You can swim, right, kid? I hadn't thought about it, but I thought I had been swimming all right a minute ago. That meant that I could swim. Yeah, I can swim.
ちょうどいいや。少年、私に教えてくれない？
That's perfect. Will you teach me? There. And I'm going to end this recording. Well, at least the story part of this recording there. To skip through this. So making sure. That's a long time before this. Like the first decision before that decision where I saved was if I can. Is actually do repairs with Sara. So it's a really long time without a save. So let me look at. CGs, we got this. So we got the missing CG. We figured out how to, okay. So these are all as the kid. And then this goes to, this is like the common ones. And then these ones are the U route. And this is from Takeshi Spiel, so I believe it's called. Okay. So this is like probably the kid, his other route. And this is like Takeshi, the fourth route. Oh, and the Sara sprites the Sara CGs are starting to fill out as well. So cool. This one, that one, and that one are the three new ones. Oh, and a new miscellaneous as well. Okay. Cool. Okay. Getting close to all the pass. Looks like all of these scenes are filled in now. Okay, all of the common kid scenes are filled in. And, oh, there's two missing ones. That's interesting. Maybe they're like bad you things. And then we already got to the Sara ones. Or we're at the Sara scenes already. Okay, we should hit the ending of the next recording then. Okay, cool.